Chase with the adorable pose to start off the what you trying to model after your child or something there?
No, I'm just trying to make Caleb love me again.
Dude, Caleb's not even paying attention. He's still watching that Santa Anita race. He
Yeah, I'm
wants
trying to
he
find if that too held on.
he wants to make sure that his
Nope.
article rings true with all those picks over there. I saw writer Dave
Oh.
congratulating you, so I'm guessing your article's done well today.
Yeah, I mean it's been a chalky day, but I think I gave out 4 of 8 or 5 of 8 winners so far, depending on maybe who came in this next one.
Didn't you give out some massive price there?
That was
Last week I gave out a $52 winner on top, actually, yeah, which was not hard to have, honestly.
Was it Flying to the Wire?
It was.
Yeah, the Nafi horse. That the name Flying to the Wire is right in Nafi's wheelhouse, but it also, but it's a stone cold front runner also.
I wonder if we had a contest that day, if all three of us would have landed on that horse, except for Mark.
I think 3 out of 4 of us had a good chance.
Which is good for approving most dental products. So
I thought it was it is a 3 out of 4 dentist approved. Anyways, we're on the wrong lead team here. In the top left corner, we got our boy Caleb. Top right, Chase, aka Guy on the Ground, aka Wolf of Oaklawn, aka Of Oaklawn, aka JPWINC, aka the Wolf in the Wheelchair. I think I ran out of names.
AKA Lewis Rich.
Lewis
like
Rich.
the turkey bacon.
Oh. In the and bottom left corner, we got our boy Mark, who looks like he's trying to construct an ABC wager. By the way, his eyes are moving. And then I'm Josh, aka Cherry Drank. And we're taking a look here at the last 5 races at Turfway Park, our 4th week of going here. Our boy Mark over here in the lead with I believe around $220. Caleb, I think you're sitting around what, 53?
Yeah, 53 or 56 or something like that.
And Chase and I have a nice easy math because we're at $50. However, I'm at $50 for the 3rd time, my 2nd rebuy. Chase went bust once, but I think Chase, you've kind of been the victim of circumstance a little bit. I think the past couple of weeks, you had that one week where you probably would have changed a couple of plays if you had actually been here. And then,
it's really hard to go against people who are one, mentally playing with the full deck, unlike myself, and also 2, have the benefit of real time data, because it was just kind of a do my best to guess where the money was going, and I guessed wrong. And then I just flailed last week, just flailed wildly, like a man lost in quick moving water, and just pissed my bankroll away.
So I know I'm looking at this race now. We got race 4 coming up here. I don't know, man. There's a couple of different ways I'm looking to go here. I think if I were just going to flat win bet, I'd probably be on this 8, and probably a little bit of this 4, but that's kind of just going on what I've seen the first couple races. But I think the first couple races were sprints, so I don't know how this route's going to play out. I want to say no, the first race was a route. I missed the first, but the last 2 races seem like off the pace has been the place to be.
Josh, I'd add to that. I think outside has been very good as well. You've seen horses making these very sort of classic Turfway middle of the winter outside swooping moves tonight, and that's a complete opposite from what you saw last night. Last night was very much a speed dominant track. So I don't know if it's just the fact that we've only seen 3 races, or if it's the fact that the track is completely changed. I'm leaning the latter personally.
Well, what you have to consider is that you've had probably a 20-degree swing in the up direction with the surface, and then I feel good about just spanking you guys tonight because I actually did a lot of homework into how it's going to play in the rain, as it's been doing in Florence, Kentucky, all damn day.
Dude, I was actually just taking a look at the weather forecast as you started saying that.
Yeah.
Because I think we've
Now,
talked
here's the
about this
fun part.
before about how the all weather changes a little bit with the weather. I don't know what it was like yesterday, but yeah, it's rainy right now. So
Now, here's the fun part. Now, try to just go back through a results chart and find a wet day at Turfway Park. I'll wait. There's no way to tell because it's always fast.
you know, you got
I
to go
figured
old
it out
school,
last night.
Farmer's Almanac.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the speed figures, a lot of these horses actually look pretty similar. But it could just be I'm looking at the optics figures right now. So I could see. I mean, I could see the 1. I could see the 4, the 7, the 8, the 9. And I definitely do not want to play 5 horses. Still kind of working to whittle down what I want to do here.
It's unfortunate because I capped this. Like, I did actually look at this race yesterday, and yesterday's we've talked about speed was really good. Even cheap speed was holding on pretty well. So I looked at this. I'm like, well, this 3 horse seems like, terribly out of form, but probably the speed in this race. And then the 1 was probably the other horse I liked at a price. I kind of thought the 7 and 8 looked a little bit obvious and figured they would take money. The 7 more so than the 8, I thought. But it looks like the track completely turned on its head since yesterday. Where speed's not holding, cheap speed's definitely not holding, and the outside seems better. So my initial play was going to be probably to try to work the 3 into an exacta, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore.
Yeah, well, as someone who did his prep work, and really did a lot of replay work last night after he ferreted out those wet days that happened in the Turfway meet, and also used his own memory of last year's Jeff Ruby Stakes Day. I've got a pretty clear picture of what I think is going to happen. I am, especially as the rain keeps falling, I'm going to play a $3 win place on the 4. And then I am going to probably go ahead and put down 1 quick daily double using the 4 as well as the 2 into hold that. Oh, sorry, to the 6 in the next race. Do you guys feel the confidence this week?
Yeah,
I feel something.
Yeah, I do. You're watching replays and shit. Like I'm actually kind of worried now because I haven't seen you this motivated since.
You can stop that sentence
ever,
right
I
there.
think, yeah.
Well, it really paid off well for me this morning or earlier today with Aqueduct, so I'm hoping that I can kind of keep that trend going. I had that 6 in the first race on my wolf sheet, and then hit the daily double with the 6 in the following race. So I feel like I got a grasp, and I'm not telling you guys what that is. You.
What do you guys? So I know you talked about it briefly, Caleb. This 3. It's kind of interesting. Looking back a couple of races on this horse, but I don't know. The horse definitely looks like it's tailing off right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horse that, I thought, it will make the lead, especially adding blinkers, and might be able to steal it on the front. I do think the horse is probably out of form, but if you even look at, his last 5 races, he hasn't been within 10 lengths of the leader at the finish of any race. I mean, so it could have been also a case of he's just in way over his head. Ron Marquette's, is a good trainer, but maybe this horse just didn't really fit the barn anymore. It's the last race that gives me trouble. I don't care that he gets blown out by, open claimers at 25,000 or 32,000, but when you can't make the lead at Turfway, an N2X $5,000 claiming race, and you finish 8th by 22 lengths, as the what is he, 9-5 favorite, that's kind of when I just say, all right, something's going on here. I don't think he's going to improve in the new barn. I was thinking speed was good. It might be enough to get him a piece of it, but
2-1 favorite. Glad to be here.
It's not
Ronnie
for me.
Brown
Looks
and
like
Robert
we
Ray.
like they're loading in here. Let me see if I can switch over. I'm actually going to be playing double here.
Glad
I got the 4, 8, 9 here into the 8 and 11 next.
Ransack at 7-1.
Yeah, I have a pick 3 going here. It's up in the Midwest channel if anybody wants to look at it.
If I get time logging into my TVG account, I want to play a 1 with 8-11 double. I don't know if it doesn't get in, then it doesn't get in.
They're loading real slow. You have a shot.
Strong yen going in, expected pace setter, and Risky Towns locked up.
Yeah, I got a $2 double, 1 with the 8-11.
And just enough tough.
I don't really like anybody next race, so
they're at the
I'm not going
post.
to try to do too much there. I mean, I think the first time starters look good, but
All set.
You get that in, Caleb?
I did get it in,
They
yeah.
are racing. Rocket beginning for Strong Yen, who came right out running. Also, quick into stride. Prince Arlo jumped well as they charged in the opening turn. Glad to be here, up and after the pace as well.
A lot of late
but
money
Strong
in that 7.
Yen
I
will
thought
lead him
he
early.
looked
He's in
like the
front
horse
by
to
just
beat.
about 2. Glad to be here away racing in second.
Yeah, I mean,
now
I was
Prince Arlo
mostly
off
on
the
the
speed
7
from
and
third.
8
Risky
here.
Town
Both made a lot
advances
of sense.
fourth.
I would be
Then comes Just Enough
extremely
Tough,
happy
who's
if this
fifth, and
3
about
goes
7
all
or
the
8
way,
off the
though.
pace, and a link for the back to Ransack as they straighten up for the backstretch journey.
I didn't check
Then
the
in
channel.
comes
What do you
Testing
have
Kid Mans, who are at the
covered
back
here,
of the
Mark?
pack, the quarter 23.
7-8 is
and
A's
1/5
and 3-5
second.
is
8 or
B's.
9 links from tip to
Okay.
tail, and they're chasing Strong in.
That's
The
about
lead
what
is
I
3
ended up
lengths.
on. I had
Glad to be
7
here.
over
Now
8,
moves a closer
enough to
second
probably break the 8
as they
down.
continue to
I
run
think
up the
7 could have been a
backstretch.
low nay if I
Prince
was going to
Arlo
play
racing
something
third,
longer.
now about 7 off the
Yeah,
lead.
you
Then
could
comes
have
Risky
gotten more
Town
aggressive to
as they
7.
continue to
I
run up the
completely agree with you,
backstretch. And
but,
Just Enough Tough is fifth and about 10 off the
and
pace
also with the bias
after a
change, I
half
was a
mile
little bit,
of
I wanted to be a little
46
more front-end.
seconds flat.
Yeah.
Now Testy Kid
Well, I'll tell you what, my
on
one's
move
getting the
from
right trip. He's
backfield
just off the
as they
pace, and
continue
he
to race around the
managed to
turn.
get wide.
They have
So
3 furlongs to
if he's
go,
good
and they
enough,
have
we'll see what he
Strong
can
in to
do.
catch. Here comes Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Bids
he is
up in the
in a
2
trip
path.
here.
Now Prince
He's
Arlo
getting his
with a
setup.
3 wide bid. Risky Town's on the move as well as raced up into 4th. Only about a length and a half further back as they continue to race around the turn with a quarter to go. Strong in still there. Strong in tackled to the outside by Glad to be here. Prince Arlo raises the stakes to the outside.
looking
Risky
real good,
Town on the
Caleb.
move from 4th with a furlong to
Yeah.
go.
We'll
Up
see
on
if he
the
can hold
outside,
off
it's
the 8.
Prince
He's
Arlo.
coming. It's a
And
long
a
stretch. I
pesky
think
Glad
he's
to
gonna
be
get
here
it
up the
up.
fence.
The
And down the
7's
center,
coming back
Risky
as well.
Town wide open with a 16th to go.
I don't
Prince
think the 8's
Arlo
gonna get
still
there.
finding. Up the inside, Glad to be here.
7
Trying
caught
to
him
come
up the
back
rail.
and get him. Glad to be here.
Wow, 7
Lunging.
fought
Glad
back
to
on
be
the
here.
fence.
I think
Wow.
got there.
Wow.
Tight photo finish.
It's been that
Glad
kind
to
of day
be
for
here.
me,
Maybe by a
honestly.
flared nostril over Prince Arlo, then Risky Town.
It has
Quite
been that
honest.
kind of day.
Quite honestly, Caleb, I almost would have preferred you gotten that bit of a price home. I mean, I ate chalk. I went 40 to get chalk. I almost would rather you catch a price there. I mean, not a big price, but
I mean, 6 to 1. Those doubles were paying to the 8 and 11. I'm sure they weren't excellent. Wow, they were very good. Well, buck
Was that
23 to the 8, and then 66 to the 11.
How did
Yeah,
that
the
finish? 7-1-2?
7-1-8.
8.
7-8. So I probably should just play my own picks that I did all this work on because I had the 7-1 exacta ice friggin' cold.
Yeah, I looking back, I mean, I wrote down that play on a notebook just so I can remember it when we actually talk about it. And I had 7 or 1 key box with the 7 and 8, because I thought the 1 would be the price play. I had the 3 initially, but given the change in track, I kind of tossed the 3.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I kept the 3 involved is I just thought there was a chance that 3 could have gotten real loose. Bunch of changes on there, a bunch of things. I think Orm was first time on that horse as well, so it was a horse that I was like, give him another chance. I guess that was not the right move, but
Yeah.
those things happen, especially at this kind of a level.
I'm gonna need to open this whiskey after that one.
What'd you play, Josh? I don't even remember.
I had the 8, the 9, and the 4, 8, 9 double. So I did not play that 7.
Mm-hmm.
But that was mostly because the double payouts going into the next race. The horses I liked were not good.
That makes Ronald Brown, that brings him to 8 for 17 on the meet, which is just, service-esque.
Well, he just served me up a little reminder that I'm not a smart man. So that sounds about right.
Well, I did hear a hot take that Chase supports increasing takeouts across the country.
Oh yeah, are we gonna do this now? Are we gonna have the takeout discussion now?
We're gonna have a discussion in simple math with Chase once again.
Yeah, so here's the deal is I don't care. I don't let it ruin my life. You guys have let it ruin your lives. Mark, look at what it's done to your appearance worrying about takeouts.
No, actually, now that I think about it, look at what
Josh
it's done to his
has been
track
stress
selection.
eating for years over takeouts. Caleb, you're beautiful. Don't change.
Oh God.
Every once in a while, you'll see Mark in chat. I'll be like, dude, like I get an 18% rebate playing this track that I've never played before. Sure, why not? Let's go. Let's check it out.
Yeah, he's on a Delta
Downs, and
now,
that's how
right?
that's how he got in the Delta Downs. I bet you it's all a rebate.
That would be the correct assumption. Yes, it would be.
You know, it's funny is Josh sent me a message last night. He's like, dude, what is going on with Mark? Like, you got him playing Delta Downs? It's like, I got the hooks in him deep. Got him in there going 2 nights a week.
Oh shit.
All right, so while we have a little break here, why don't we go around? What do we got in our glasses here, everybody? When we start, what do you got? You got the E.H. Taylor small batch.
Yeah, found a little E.H. Taylor small batch, and I'll tell you what, Caleb, I broke that out. That is absolutely phenomenal. It's probably the best bourbon I've ever had. It's really good.
Yeah. You're a lucky man to have that stocked locally near you. So
I am enjoying water from a pure filter in a St. Louis Cardinals 2013 National League Champions cup because my wife and I are still doing Whole 30.
How's that going, by the way? Give us an update.
That was going well. I've actually lost like 8 pounds.
Good for you, man.
And so no alcohol. She actually bought apple juice so that I could like fake you guys out with a mocktail. And I was like, no, that is much sadder. That is much sadder.
I would respect you more for just not drinking.
Vodka, straight up.
I'm still working on a bottle of Blanton's. Still on the first of 3 that I picked up the first time I found it stocked in the past 6 months.
I still have that bottle of Blanton's that Polka Dot Taylor sent me, and I'm still nursing it. The other day I was like, I wanted to have a little bit of it. I like poured like the smallest amount out. But I did find that I got a good find today. I got a little bottle of Stag Junior here, batch 13. Bottled at 128.4 proof, so I probably should go get some water for this because my guess is extremely hot. But
yeah, from what I've never had Stag Junior, I hear it's phenomenal, but I definitely hear it's it's a heater.
Theory that you're buying all of these exotic bourbons and just like saving just tiny little sips of it, and is that someday you will eventually be embalmed with like all the little tiny sips that you have left from your exotic bourbons.
I've shown you my infinity bottle, right?
I don't want to see it.
No,
I don't want to see it. I'm not supporting your habit.
I actually have a bottle of an emptied bottle of Long Branch because I just like the shape of the bottle. And I have a little bit of each bottle I like, pour a little bit in there, and I like what it is. I mean, I just use it kind of like as a mixer bourbon at this point. But what's kind of funny is I bottle the first time I filled it up to the top. My wife's like, "Oh, this is delicious," and probably like emptied a third of it, and started filling it back up. Now she's like, this tastes like paint thinner. So it might be the fact that now it's starting to be like, I've started to kind of lean more towards the higher proof stuff. So it was probably all like normal, like Buffalo Trace and Elijah Craig and 1792, Four Roses, normal stuff. And then I'm like, oh, Maker's Cask Strength. Okay. Oh, here we go. Stag Junior. Let's toss that in there. Oh, it's like everything that's like 100 proof and up. So it's probably sitting pretty hot right now.
Yeah, I think, I mean, not that we need to give reviews on bourbon, but if you don't drink it all that often, like don't go pick up a bottle of Stag Junior and drink it neat, because you're gonna catch your vocal cords on fire. But I do notice that the more you drink without mixers and just ice or neat and acquire more of a taste, it does seem like people tend to gravitate towards those higher proofs. Like, I don't know that I'm a fan of 120 proof bourbon necessarily, but like it does seem like a lot of people who are very passionate about it do gravitate towards those hotter drinks.
Once you go that 1 proof point above 100,
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not gonna remember it tomorrow.
Dude, Wild Turkey
Where my pants
101,
are.
dude. Wild Turkey 101 is where it's at, man.
The kickin' chicken. Whew.
Dude, if you know what, like there are far worse bourbons you can buy at that price. So between that,
Are you lecturing me about liquor at different price points right now? I'm gonna teach you about some IT shit tonight. How about that?
whoa, whoa,
Step
you're gonna
1:
teach Josh IT
word
about IT shit?
processing.
dude.
What'd you say?
FYI, F you guys, because I completely forgot to put my bet in at Sam Houston. And I was all over this motherfucking 8. Oh,
That's what you're gonna tell Josh IT all about IT? Really?
Yeah, that post-it note is a lie. That directory is a lie.
which one, Josh IT?
Yeah, Josh IT. You're no IT.
God, dude, they even floated up. It was at 2-1, and I was like, I'm not gonna bet it. Win a 7-2.
Hey Josh, because you were asking, I pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, and pick 6. I get 14.5% at Delta. So
Yeah, so that clearly makes sense. I mean, that's a U play right there.
Yeah, obviously. Sure.
All right, so we got 18 minutes here to race 5. I think discretion might be the better part of valor, and I think I might be passing this race. The one thing I'm really interested in is this 11. But I'm gonna keep an eye on the odds board. The 8 also interests me a bit. But see how these odds hold. I'll probably just try to double out of this race if anything, but I gotta take a look at race 6 and see if there's anything.
Yeah.
So a horse at Sam Houston named Take Charge Chase running. Anyone want to guess what his odds are currently?
99-1.
69 to 1.
30 to 1. Yep. They would just give you Sam Houston. They would say no takeout. We don't do takeouts for
We don't do takeouts. I think if the
We
horse
run
has your
on
name,
goodwill.
give you the takeout back.
What'd you say?
I think if the horse shares your name, they have to give you the takeout back.
Yeah,
I think that's the rule.
The greatest
law in
rebate.
most states.
So that means that you're going to get the takeout back on the 9 in the 6th race, right, Caleb?
That's right.
Oh my god!
I'm pushing the rest of the bankroll on the 9 in the next 6th race.
Yeah, I'm just using the 8, the 10, and the 11 here. And I'm going through them at a pick 3. Nothing new starting here. We'll be sort of watching this. So I'll probably start up some new stuff in the next race, in the 6th. That is.
It's tough to for me to know what I want to do in this race when I don't know what I like in the 7th and 8th race yet. So I mean, I don't want to find out I hate the last 2 and not have a play. But I really didn't care for this race. I thought it looked kind of like the first time starters. I had written down the 11 and 8 were the top 2 picks, kind of like most of you said. Well, the 8's not a first time starter, but made a good run. And then the 11's just Wesley Ward and first time starter. So I kind of thought that it looked that way. I mean, a 10's a horse you could consider, off the pedigree, and Mike Maker as well. Yeah, it's an interesting race. I guess the one horse that might be a price, I haven't looked at the tote yet. Yeah, the one horse that is kind of a price I looked at was the 2. Rodney Prescott's a good Turfway rider. I'm not familiar with the trainer, but has strong numbers. Last year he was 22%. More Than Ready is usually an excellent turf sire. I'd expect that to translate to the synthetic surface at Turfway. The workouts haven't really been fast necessarily, but they've been pretty long. You don't see 6 furlong works that often. So probably no play here ultimately, but 2 was the only horse at a price that I was kind of interested in, but not much confidence in this race.
The one horse that actually did stick out to me a little bit that I think might be worth a look might be the 6. The 6 is going to be turning back here. It's got John McKee aboard, who's fine. It looks like he's hitting at 10% here at Turfway. I think he started off pretty good and it's kind of cooled down a little bit. But we do have an S-type horse here on a sprint, which seems like what the bias is playing to. And this trainer is plus on the route to sprint move, 3 for 9. So might be worth taking a look at the 6, especially. And at least on Briz, the speed figures are competitive. I don't know what they look like on graph.
That on 3, you said?
6.
Yeah, on DRF, they're really not competitive. Horse ran at 44 last out, and they're calling par in this race. Oh, no, they don't have a par listed, but somebody like the 8 ran a 58 last out. So on the DRF side, you would need improvement. But I mean, you're talking lightly raced horses. Those are things that happen. So I wouldn't fault you for going there.
I went ahead and put together a little pick 3 that's going to end in a single that I really like in race 7. Josh mentioned this horse. I'm a big fan. I kind of like the way that this might set up with all of the first-time starters all directly drawn inside of him, and that's Mr. Superb. John McKee, I don't remember who said it just a minute ago, but just a good, solid Turfway jock that I definitely trust. 11, you can't really ignore because it's Ward and Corrales, and then the 8, it just kind of seemed to fit the profile of what I'm looking for tonight. So I used 6, 8, 11 to a 1, 3, 8 to a single 2. And I'm going to box an exacta with 6, 8, and 11.
What did you go on the second leg?
What'd you say?
What horses did you use in the second leg?
It's 6, 8, 11, 1, 3, 8 in the second leg, and then 2.
Wow, we are completely different in the second leg. Third leg, I completely agree with you, but second leg, ooh.
It's because you didn't do replay work.
That is true. I did not.
You said 1, 3, 8, Chase?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, one of us might be right. I'm off on that one as well, so we'll see what happens.
Let me guess, Caleb, you're on the 9.
I'm on the 9 as the likeliest winner, but there's a price horse in there.
Yeah, I like a couple prices in there as well. So,
but yeah, I think the 9 is the likeliest winner. Now that said, if I'm playing a pick 3 and I'm using the 8 and the 11, or 8 here and the 11, and I'm singling the 2 in the last leg, I don't know that I would use this 9, just because if you think the 2 is the likeliest winner in the sequence, you don't really want to play the top 2 betting choices by the top betting choice by the top betting choice unless you're going to press it. So I don't hate the idea of trying to get around the 9. I just think he's a pretty likely winner.
Do we want the bet post in Midwest channel, or do you want me to send that to you, Josh?
You can post it wherever, man, and then
okay.
I'll get the recaps and stuff later. I'm really liking this 2 in race 7, so I'm actually looking at playing a me style pick 4 here. think I got a play for about $13.
Can we just take a moment to recognize that the 3-1 morning line on that 2-horse in race 7 is not going to be anything close to what you get?
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, that horse is going to be 7-5, if not shorter.
Yeah, it'll be probably shorter. I was thinking you're gonna be more like even money.
Yeah, I mean, Grizz has got the profit line, which isn't always very accurate, but at 4-5. So usually you're within an odd or two by the public with that. So my guess is we'll probably be around even money.
Mm-hmm.
7-5.
The rain is coming down right now. It is pouring.
Yes, it is.
You sounded so excited about that, James.
Yep. The worm has turned.
Oh no.
So let's if we think back to that last race, I mean, me having the one, thought I was a winner, turning for home. Is the rail better than we thought from the early on, or is the 7, was he just that much the best?
I'm going to lean on the 7 being that much the best personally, because the rail, all the first few races, the first 3 races, look terrible. You're seeing horses making these big down the middle swing moves off the corner and closing down the middle of the track. I think the 7 was just a better horse who was closing late and was able to sort of wear down that middle move on the 1. Maybe I'm wrong, but I still tend to not like the rail here until proven otherwise.
Shout out to our boy, the Mr. Middle Move. You can catch him at Middle Move. Was it themiddlemove.com?
It's a hot pace, and here it comes.
The Middle Move.
So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys in on what I saw and what I'm pulling from my memory of the Jeff Ruby Stakes last year, and then what I did was use Weather Underground to look at the amount of precipitation by day of the Turfway meet, and then found days where it was raining instead of sifting through 8 replays a day to find, and then trying to figure out on the Turfway feed if it's actually raining or grainy. And so I found a good kind of barometer day, or let's say benchmark day instead, since I'm talking about weather, of January 2nd, where they had just an absolute downpour. That also kind of fit that Jeff Ruby Stakes day, and also the temperature was about the same. And what you're going to see is, as this gets wetter, is this rail is going to turn on, and it's going to be horses firing from just off the pace on that rail trip. That 1 was a harbinger of things to come.
If that's a harbinger of things to come, I'm going to have a really bad evening.
And that's why I held that information until now. By the way, love you, buddy. Sometimes I think that your trip to Arkansas is either going to end with us being the best of friends, or with just like black eyes and broken bones on both sides. Just us,
either best of friends or we're going to murder one another. I mean, there's no middle ground. It's going to be one or the other.
You're just going to pull the Turo over on the side of the highway, and we're just going to have a fist fight right there in the on the shoulder.
And the more I look at this race, the more I almost want to use almost every horse that's got some experience.
In this next race, the 5th?
I'm even looking at the 12 now. I
mean, it's a flat race. Your favorite's 7-2. I mean,
Albin Jimenez with Ben Colebrook, coming from Churchill. So
yeah, I couldn't fault on the 12 at all. Of any horse that I don't have covered, the 12 is the one that probably scares me the most. And at 2 a little bit after that. And that 12 is taking quite a bit of money from the morning line. I mean, the horse has been almost cut in half.
I know. I sat here and I'm like, I thought I had a nice skinny pick 4 play, and it's just getting fatter and fatter. So back down from that.
Albeit Twin Spires has the profit line on that 12 is 30-1. So we all know those mean jack.
Dude, it could be Ed DeRosa trying to pull a fast one.
And this last race, I don't want to jump ahead, but this last race sucks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's a rough race.
I mean, it's like all the horses I hate, they're like 1 for 20 lifetime. Or horses that just broke their maiden after like 16 tries.
So wait, Zulu Alpha's in there?
Yeah, Channel Cat, Zulu Alpha.
Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Channel Marker.
Somehow Combatant is also entered for me.
I don't know what I'm gonna do in the Pegasus Turf. Like, I don't know. Like, I might have to like just not play the pick 5 because I don't know how I'm gonna bet that race.
It's called the all button.
I mean, I don't care if they enter like, a mule off the street or something, Patch or who the fuck enters. Like, if it's not Arclu, Zulu Alpha, or Channel Cat, probably bet him.
How is Patch not on the list of horses you hate?
He's retired now.
Patch is retired. So he's off my shit list.
Cool.
Wait, hold on. I think we need to address the theory that you can't hate a horse once it's retired. There are a couple retired horses that I still, if I saw them crossing the street, I'd give them a look.
There's a couple of retired horses. I'm meaning to go visit old friends. I could have a couple words with them.
Yeah, it's going to be not so friendly, sir. I'll just go straight up Philadelphia police horse punch like an Eagles fan.
Are any of them turf horses that decided they could run on dirt?
Oh, that's not the one he was talking about, but that's a good one.
No, that's a good one, but it's not that. That's one of the one I was talking about. There's another.
Does that rhyme with Mathlick toy?
Yes, it does.
Is it something you find running from a bishop?
Oh, God.
That was a bit rough. Ooh.
I don't have enough bourbon for that one yet, Chase.
No.
Dude, FYI, when I said that this is going to be hot, like, yeah, this is like, it's pretty rough, man. It's pretty hot.
I was expecting this to be much more harsh and much rougher than it is. It's nice, very smooth, very, very clean and nice.
That's nice and 100 proof.
Yeah, it's very smooth. I'm quite oaky. It's nice. I like it. I really, really like it. It was a nice choice. Thank you guys very much for the suggestion.
See, like, I feel like this is one of those weird things where it's like I want to go narrow, but I feel like the 2 horses I would keep, as soon as I toss out 2 of these horses, I mean, they're going to finish 1-2. I'm going to put them right in the winner's circle. So I think I'm going to have to pass. I think I might just do a flat win bet on the 6.
Yeah, I'm not playing a pick 4. I'm down to like $50, which is obviously enough budget to throw a cheap stab at it if you wanted to. But this race, I think the 8 or 11 are pretty likely winners, but there's a lot of horses that could just show up. And more importantly, I'd rather play a smaller sequence, like a pick 3 or a double. And I'm going to probably try to get around that 2 horse, the Chad Brown refugee horse. I mean, I think the horse looks good. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but we'll see what the prices look like. But I think that horse is just going to be so short. So I'm going to kind of wait and feel that one out.
I have a lot of respect for you trying to get around that horse, because that horse is one that the definition of the type of horses you're supposed to get around. Horse has 1.5 million layoff lines, and the horse hated winning. That's why that horse isn't in the Chad Brown barn anymore. So yeah, that's the kind of horse, as a horse player, you look at and go, ooh, there's one I want to get around. All the reasons are there. And also a horse that was running, at Naira, at Saratoga, in stakes, I think optional 62s most of the time, which is about the top of the optional world. And in Naira circuit is now going to hide out at Turfway. And you go, that's a little sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stops between Chad Brown's barn and low-level allowance at
late scratch in
Turfway.
the upcoming 5th race.
I mean,
12,
you also have to
Company
consider
Clown
the purpose that Turfway serves.
12 just scratched, FYI.
State veterinarian.
Ooh.
What was it?
Once again, number
12
12, Company Clown. A late scratch in the 5th race,
Um,
scratched by the Board
Easy
of
Money
Service
says
on
race
recommendation
8 is like the
from the
consolation
state
game of a
veterinarian.
middle
Now,
school
all straight
basketball
wagers to be
tournament.
refunded on the 12. If you had
That's pretty accurate.
That's a perfect
ending
take.
of a daily double, or the middle or ending leg of a pick 3, you'll get a
Yeah,
consolation.
I mean, Turfway,
pick 4s,
if the
pick
horse isn't
5s
necessarily going
ending
to stay
here,
there all
you'll
winter,
get
I
the
mean,
post-time
it's
favorite.
kind of that
All their
in
wagers
between
refunded.
stop for
Scratch
horses
12,
that are
Company
headed
Clown. 1 minute.
to Oaklawn, that are headed to the fairgrounds that are going to be kind of dispersed or all across the part of the country for their their winter meets. You see, I love seeing like a Turfway horse that had a bad post draw showing up in an Oaklawn race the next time out, and we'll make a play at that because a lot of people scoff at Turfway, but especially I think you're going to see some horses that ship out and win a good bit because of the purse raises that Churchill Downs put into him.
Yeah, I don't necessarily bash Turfway races. I just think it's a massive drop for a horse coming, who was a competitive horse that hit the board a lot in the NYRA circuit at those sort of optional 62 levels, which we all know the optional 62 is a starter allowance these days. So you're talking allowance level horse coming out of NYRA, which I realize I have East Coast bias and all, but this is a massive class drop. Now, maybe the class is just appropriate and they're looking to put a confidence builder. The horse isn't in for a tag. So maybe they're just looking to get a race into the horse, get some confidence and point towards, something in the next month or two. Again, like you said, the fairgrounds or something like that, point to an overnight or a bigger level allowance race. But it's a bit of a head scratcher.
All right. So I did like an A-B kind of pick 3 here. 6, 8, 11 in this first leg, 9, 10 in the second leg, and then I have 2 singled in the last leg for $1.50, and then I have 5, 8, 9 in the last leg for an $18 play.
Yeah.
The horses have reached the starting gate. It's post time. Maiden 3.
They're loading right now.
$46,000 to go.
I'm going to fire a late double here. Once again, I'm going to
2-1 on Emergence of Cool for Wesley Ward.
And then I'm going to use the 7, only the 7 in the next race. I think the 9's likeliest winner, but I think that the double's only paying like $12 to $15 for $2 coming to the 9 next race with 8 and the 11 here, which isn't enough value for me to pull the trigger on that. The doubles to the 7 are really good. The horse is 20 to 1 in the books. Superb. That's the price horse that I really want to try to work a few tickets around. So this way I'll get live to a pretty nice score if the double hits, and if it doesn't, or if I at least get a live, I don't really have to worry about one getting in or having him on top for anything.
You're close, Caleb, if you haven't gotten it in yet.
They are racing rocket beginning for Merchants of Cool. Autopilot with a much better break today, but underneath there goes debuting Tiz Deja Blue. And Tiz Deja Blue from that inside draw has lead by just about 2.5 lengths. Hard target on debut for Foster and Cowan's Away Racing in second. Autopilot third.
Turfway is one of those tracks. You'll see 30 lengths separating the first and last place horse before the first call. It's something special.
And then comes
that was just full on quarter horse hustle.
Trailing horses, Shaka and Cibolian. The quarter was 22 and 2/5 seconds.
11 took some late money. I think 11's best, but he's flying pretty close to the
outside by hard target. Merchant of Cool committed to go 3 wide as Autopilot is fourth. Now, Mr. Superb is fifth, starting to tighten up from the backfield. Here comes debuting Destined for Honor as they have a quarter of a mile to go. Half mile 45 and 3/5 seconds. It's hard target who will cut the corner. Merchants of Cool up to the outside as they straight away for the top of the home stretch with just outside the furlong to go. It's Merchants of Cool opening up with authority.
Yeah, he's going to win by as many as he
by the
wants.
16th pole with a commanding 6, now 7th length lead. Merchants of Cool with an eye-catching performance. Start number 2,
what's the term called
by about
when
10
you
in the end.
didn't make a bet ahead of time, but you liked it and didn't bet it? Like, it's not like red boarding, but there needs to be a term for that. Like,
and 116
late boarding or something.
flat.
Because that's twice in a row. I thought a horse looked obvious, and I liked the price underneath and didn't play the exacta, and it came in. My 2 horse got second there at 6 to 1. Thought the 11 looked best. Previous race, I thought the 7 looked best, and the 1 horse ran second at like 6 to 1 also, I think. So I'd probably be up like, I don't know, $60 or something if I was playing this exactas, but it's hard to break the mindset of a horizontal player sometimes.
You call yourself a horizontal player? Really?
I do. My action's probably 80-20.
I was to say, because I always consider myself a horizontal player. I always assumed you were pretty even. You always seem like an even mix kind of guy.
Okay, well, I'm more
Seem like
balanced.
Josh and Chase are more vertical. So.
Yeah, I would say, the majority of my bankroll is in horizontals, but I play a lot of tickets that are verticals, just, $2 or $4 exactas here and there.
Yeah, so you action bet verticals and you actually
Pretty much, yeah.
Structure horizontals. Okay.
Yeah, for the most part.
I'm exactly the opposite. I guess I do that as well. Occasionally I'll throw an exacta just for giggles.
Well, as usual, when I narrow down and I really like the chalk comes in, but I, for some reason, decide to spread. So I went 3 wide here and I didn't need to. Yeah, so if I would have played that pick 4, I would have probably just had the 6 and 11 here. And that would be looking pretty good because that would be spread out everywhere except for that 2.
Yeah.
See.
My first pass at 8-11 is A's, then 2 and 10 is B's in that race.
Yeah, so we're real close there.
So into the next, I have a $3 pick 3 paying to the 9, and I have a $1 pick 3 paying to the 4-8.
The 9, I think, makes a lot of sense. 4-8, were you just playing one of the speeds gets loose?
Yep.
Yeah, I looked at doing something like that.
Yeah, the only horse that I liked in this next race I didn't use is the 7. I used both the 9 and the 10.
Oh, me and Josh are on the same 3 for 44 lifetime horse. Could it be horse tourneys all over again?
Oh no. I'd feel pretty good going into the third leg 4 horses, some type of coverage. So
I like a concern when Josh is on, over 75 maidens.
Yeah. Like, listen, he had an appendectomy last week, and he took in a bunch of air whenever they removed the trach tube.
Usually it's more like, you see this number that's in this this section of the PP no one looks at? I like this number. Yeah, that win was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I guess that it was one of Wesley Ward's loaded 2-year-olds who likes to bring the Keeneland on the bench for a while and just comes back and wins for fun.
Yeah, we've all seen that. I mean, Wesley Ward's one of the few high-profile trainers that routinely sends, live mounts specifically to Turfway. There's a reason he's always 30-something% at this meet. Mike Makers and the other who generally actually targets this meet to some extent. You can kind of tell the guys like Ben Colebrook and Charles Lepresti, who are decent Kentucky trainers in their own right, but don't typically send as many horses here, or not having strong starts to the meet so far.
Yeah, I think the way it's going to work next year especially is I think a lot of these Kentucky trainers that ship every once in a while are going to ship a lot less because of the extra purse money at Ellis and at Turfway. I think it's really going to be, they're going to really just focus on, hey, we stay in Kentucky the whole time.
I think that would be the goal. I think that'd be to have semi-competitive Kentucky racing year round.
I mean, they're already working on shutting down Arlington, so
yeah.
And by working on, you mean that it's already complete.
I mean, they don't have they were supposed to have an agreement by the first of the year, and they still don't have an agreement. So the horsemen, there's something like, I don't know, there's a pretty big difference in purse money that the horsemen are asking for versus what Churchill is offering. So I don't know how it gets done, to be honest with you.
I had the damn
Exactly,
early
Stone
pick
Cold.
5. No, I had the early pick 5 at Turfway, all A's 1C. That was brutal.
They only paid
like
$3,400.
$3,400. Yeah.
Yeah. Add that to the all A's 1B pick 6 at Aqueduct today.
Hey, but on the plus side, you know what? can post it on
No
Twitter.
takeout.
You can post it on Twitter.
Huh?
You can post it
Yeah,
on Twitter.
that's right.
Like, hey, look
That's
at
true.
all A's 1C.
That's kind of how that went, though. I had it all A's 1C. I did not bet it all A's 1C. I didn't even bet it.
I'm kind of shocked these pick 3 low pays are as good as they are, to tell you the truth.
What are you paid to on the pick 3?
489. 3x to the 9, 1x to the 4 and the 8.
I didn't sign up for math. What do you live to money wise?
3x to the 9 is about $33.
No. 3x meaning $3. So about
6 times.
$73, something like that, to the 9. The 4 and the 8. The 4 pays 203. The 8 pays 189.
Just so everyone knows, Mark works in finance. So if his math is incorrect, you know why. Or you know why the economy is how it is.
Speaking of other people who work in finance who are looking for a shout out, we'll give a shout out to Tom 643. Hey, buddy, he was begging for a shout out earlier. So
the risk guy,
The risk guy,
the risk guy, the guy they don't allow into any meetings because then they'd have to explain the things they're doing to him to ruin the economy.
See, that has nothing to do with his job. He's the guy you don't risk crossing after 12 Coors Lights.
He just gets nicer the drunker he gets, though. I mean, he's just one of those people. He's a very nice guy and gets
Yeah.
If you want a little Tom story, when we were at Arlington, we're sitting there and that Got Stormy race. What was it, the 4-star Dave, right? Was that the same one that run on the same day as Arlington Million? The 4-star Dave?
Yes, that is 4-star Dave's at Million.
Yeah. So we started talking and I look at my phone. Man, I was like, I really wanted to bet, just like go and bet a huge amount on Got Stormy, coming back 7 days, but I just couldn't do it. Sure enough, that she won. And he's just like, fuck, are you kidding me? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I meant to bet that. And the rest of the day, dude, he just couldn't believe it. He was just like, oh my God. Like, I forgot what we were talking about. We were in like this real, like, intense conversation. I think we were just talking about other races and betting and stuff like that. And we had even talked about before about betting the race. So upset about that. And of course, I think what Got Stormy paid like something like 3-1 or 5-2 or something decent. So rough. Looks like Clamps also wants a shout out, apparently, sitting in the chat. AKA you're gonna be your gambling partner in Vegas when you go.
Yep.
Something I learned about Clamps is it upsets him when you call him Gare Bear.
How'd you find that out?
I called him Gare Bear.
Hey Clamps, I'm an idiot. Can you see if you can undelete that message? I meant to hit accept.
Well, let's see what these doubles are worth. 2d7. Yeah, it's worth 139 for 2, so that's definitely fair value. Considering that the horse is 6-1 right now from a 20-1 morning line, I'll take that.
That's a horse I liked quite a bit, but kind of deviated from the strategy for me. I decided not to use. Yeah, I'm pretty sold on this on the 138 and kind of letting that ride. Also, I might just go ahead and do a $2 win bet on 1, 3, and 8 in case my single doesn't show up in the last leg.
You want to talk about some of those? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. I mean, it looks like they're clearly you're targeting more, off the pace kind of runners with the horse like the 3, and then I mean the 1 is also more of a even closer. 8 looks like he's a bit of a speed, so you got a little bit of coverage on the front side. I mean, what were your thoughts on that? Just take the best of the speed and the 2 best closers, you thought, or what were you looking?
Whenever I'm ordering these things out, because you have to understand that whenever I'm putting my bets together in advance, it's usually from the mindset of putting that tip sheet together. And so I'm usually going ahead and kind of blending in together my run styles, because I'm thinking of it from like a 3-horse box exacta or a 4-horse box trifecta kind of point of view. The one I liked the post position. I feel like as this rain keeps going, it's going to keep getting a little bit hotter on the outside. Like, I'm not going to draw any judgment from the 11, the West Ward horse running away in the previous race. I also kind of put together a little hit list of jockeys who had performed well in similar conditions. So, for example, Jeff Ruby Stakes Day last year, I knew something was up whenever Perry Wayne Oots kept winning races. What does it mean when Perry Wayne wins? It means the
rail's on, baby.
Rails on, boys.
The rail is actually on. And so, I wanted to have horses that are going to be a little bit off the pace and going to either be starting on that rail, or they're going to be kind of filling in that rail spot that's vacated by early speed. I trust John McKee quite a bit. The Bug Boy jock on the 1, I've seen kind of do some nice things at Oaklawn. It kind of seemed like he was going to be fitting that pace setup that I'm looking for, where I'm expecting these, you're not going to have very many more kind of wire to wire winners, but he could maybe still, get bold and hang close to that rail and be ready to explode whenever he hits the stretch. 8, Dujack, that's a horse that I've seen run, a good couple times, and, might get out there. And, if I'm completely wrong and a horse can break loose, then that's the one I wanted to take a chance with. With the 9, I see that tough, late speed figure on Briz. I look at the optics, and I felt that it, I can't even really describe at this point why I wasn't all on in the 9, and part of me kind of wishes that I was now. But yeah, I don't know. I think I got scared of Q2 squares. So far up there, and also I'm thinking about that as a horse that might get hung out wide if the rail is indeed on. It's hanged when you do it to a person, Sherry. Don't make that face. And learn your fucking grammar.
Oh, I thought you like the saying "hung like a horse." No.
Like a chandelier.
So there were a couple questions actually.
Does that mean that it has dangly crystals?
There were a couple questions from the chat while Chase was waxing poetic there on his long shots there. So our boy Howard over here, Howard Etter, is asking how we like optics. Caleb, what do you think so far?
I think it's really a useful tool, and I've heard about it for a long time. I don't think it's particularly new, but I've just never really bought into it. And finally they had a Black Friday special where I think you got 10 days of access for every track every day for like $50. So I gave it a shot, and it's definitely turned me into a believer. It works better on some tracks than others, but the big thing is that it really speeds up my handicapping by allowing me to throw out horses that just aren't competitive from a pace perspective. Horses that need the lead and are projected to be 5th or 6th at the first call. Horses that are dead closers but don't have much late velocity. As well as identify pace aberrations where you have a lone speed candidate or a really contested pace, and then a lone closer or 1 or 2 off the pace types. So I definitely think it's worth it, especially the plots. I think the notes, the grid, the works are probably less useful for me personally, but I'm a big fan of the optics plot itself, especially at Turfway. It's when you catch a trend, you can really push it and make some money.
First of all, I got to ask, Howard, are you a cop? You got to tell us if you are. No, I'm a fan of it. I'm not as well versed as even Mark or Caleb are, because I was a late adopter. I haven't gotten into the notes and everything. Just looking at the plots, I can look at Briz pace figures and I can kind of imagine in my head, based off of those, kind of how things are going to unfold. I can do it quicker just looking at it, just seeing clusters. At the same time, maybe on a day like today where I'm chasing something specific with the bias, it might not help me with visualizing what horses are going to end up in what spot. If I'm horses that I think that are going to end
Just
up.
so you know, Howard is not a cop. He said
Sounds
no.
like something a cop would say.
Howard, are you wearing a wire? Wait, I'm wearing a wire. Yeah, no, it's a useful tool, and I think I'm trying to avoid getting lazy and relying just on that, because I found that I do much better whenever I handicap, come up with my picks, look at optics, then look at what I have as a consensus to verify what I see. And when I can find a consensus where I've only got a couple consensus horses, I feel like it's more of a green light to go ahead and tattoo that race with the Hawaiian Punch guy on its back full length.
Yeah, I think personally, I'll very much agree with what Caleb said. I found optics is something that I've added in. It's maybe it's a small percentage of my handicapping, but for me, it's just really hey, I'm going to handicap 4 tracks in a day, and I'm going to handicap all those races. It just cuts down the time. I can throw out horses very quickly who are, oh, this is a need the speed horse, or oh, hey, there's 3 horses, they're all early speeds here, they're all going to burn each other out. Just really quickly, kind of getting a pace dynamic in my head without having to do it manually. I find that what would have taken me an hour to do a card, it cuts it down to 15 or 20 minutes. So it really massively cuts down the time. I think it's a really useful product. If you're a visual person, it makes understanding pace very easy. It's 3-dimensional. I think it's a really great product. And if they'd sponsor us, that'd be awesome, because then I'd have to stop buying them and it wouldn't cost me as much money.
Actually, well, what's funny is one of the things I was going to mention too is I actually really like the price. I appreciate any product that lets you buy a day pass for a decent amount, because there's certain days where it's like you might. I mean, me personally, I play maybe 2 or 3 tracks pretty heavily, and then I dabble in a bunch of other ones. But if you sit down and are going to play, I don't know, 4 or 5 tracks in one day, you start buying DRFs. I mean, that gets expensive, at $4 or $5 a pop.
Going into a month-long subscription is expensive too for PPs.
DRF does have a day pass now, though. I will throw it out there.
Yeah, but what's nice is, like that's why I like products like Timeform, Optics. If you were to do both of them for the day, I think it's like $16. I think Timeform's $6 for the day, and Optics I think it's 10, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
which is pretty good if you're gonna just sit there and aren't somebody who plays somewhere like on Twin Spires. I tend to keep money in my Twin Spires accounts just to get free PPs. But if you're somebody like Pack or somebody else who is in a state that is not backwards and is able to get good rebates and stuff like that, you'll be able to get data at a decent price that does something unique. So that's why I feel pretty good about that, about optics. And just like everyone else said, me being somebody who looks at pace first and foremost, it's nice.
You guys kind of talked about handicapping full cards throughout the day. I kind of think it's excellent for more of just finding spot plays, just a quick scan through and finding, for the person who can't, put the attention into betting live, that maybe, what I did the other day was just looked for green plot fits and snowflakes and flames, and found a race at Gulfstream that I hit at 9-2 on a win place. I had another one where I took a shot at a long shot win place, and it placed. I had a pick 3 that paid half of what it cost at Delta Downs. That I think I apparently still owe 6421 money for. He says, and he's scary.
So we got 6 minutes to race. I know Parker. Sorry, Parker asked quite a while ago. Just flat win bet here. I think we're pretty much all on the 9 to win this one outright. I know I'm live to. I got the 9 and the 10 here. The 7 interests me a little bit as well, but I think the 7 was a little bit more interesting, closer to 21, not at this one.
I did put down just flat $2 win bets, but it's on my horses that are these longer odds that I want to get something for them being singled into the last leg, because I don't want to hit a 20-1 and have nothing to show for it if my single doesn't show up in the next leg.
Yeah, I wanted to play pick 3s here. I just don't like the last race, and I don't want to play it just for base, $1.50 across the board. If I'm going to play it, I'd rather have some leverage. So I'm already live to the 7 and a double here for about $140. I'm going to play exactas with the 9 over the 5 and 7. I think the 9 is a very likely winner, but you're still getting decent value with the 7 underneath, and less decent but still manageable value with the 5. I think they're likely your next 2 horses to be coming up. We'll see how the track plays, but that's what I'm going to play here. Is 9 over the 5-7.
Yeah, I'm starting a new pick 3 here. I do agree with Caleb that last race is really rough. But I have a 9 in here, and I have the 4 and the 8 as B's. I played the early with the 4 and the 8 as C's. So playing around with structure a little bit here, and trying to get into a few horses in the last leg. Hopefully I figured the right one out if I can get through this. But yeah, starting to pick 3 here, and it is up in Midwest. So take a look.
I'm a little worried now about this 4 and 8.
I mean, if speed would have been holding, I'd be all over. If one of the 4 or the 8 scratched, I'd be all over the one that didn't. But I fail to see, just personally, the way that one gets loose from the other. I think they just kind of open up, go quick, and it sets up just perfect for the 9.
Yeah, so this is one of those races where I think it's a little bit flatter than it looks. I don't think the 9 should be 7-5. But I definitely I think that the 5 has got a real shot here. I like the 7. I like the 10. I even like the 3. So this is one of those tough races where, I mean, the 9's the most likely winner, but at 7-5, when you're getting 5-1 plus on the rest of those horses, it's pretty hard to swallow. And I just, when there's that many horses that are flat like that too, I always have a hard time kind of constructing how to kind of play that. But I got the 9 and the 10 here, so I'm kind of hoping for the.
So if anybody's a bit of a contango person here, if you look at pick 3 and daily double payouts, the 8 is a lower price than the 4, but you actually have the 4 being a substantially lower price than the 8 here. I always find that kind of thing interesting, especially in smaller tracks with thinner wind pools, where you can play around with those kind of things, and they're always interesting, and you can try to leverage them up if you want to play around.
Smoltz is a horse that initially, just kind of looking at the optics I wanted to take, and then I'll referred it back to my own handicapping. Just looking at matters of class, if I think the horse is in shape, if I think the speed figures will hold up, it was one that I wasn't prepared to take. And I kind of seeing that big circle makes me think that it might have been kind of that cheap speed that I was maybe thinking I saw. But I also don't know. what I'm thinking most of the time. So
Something that I'm thinking is looking at the probables for the daily doubles going into the next race. And it actually looks like the 2 is not going to be favored, which is a big surprise to me.
ooh.
The 11 looks like, judging off the doubles, the 11 will be your favorite. The 2 will be your probably second choice, and then the 8 will be somewhat distant third choice, perhaps the 4 and the 8. So that's the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed was looking to try to leverage the 7 a little bit more with another set of doubles. And the 7-1 daily double is just absolutely crushed. It is paying $22.60, which is just out of this world. I mean, the next shortest horse, with the 7 pays $128, and then the next one after that's $158. One is not your favorite, and he's not getting action in any other horse's probables in the next race. But that 7-1 double is just hammered. So somebody may have had a few too many drinks and bet off a name or something. But
Starts in a S and ends in a
Approaching the gate, 1 minute.
X421. Yeah, that's typical of his slams, of his whammies as of late.
Hey Chase,
I feel like he is the Discord whale.
Chase, Dennis is wondering why you keep on referring to a race that has been run this decade.
What did you say? Say that again?
He's asking why you keep referencing the Jeff Ruby Stakes, which is yet to be run this decade.
Because it's the one day of clear memory that I have that I can go back to that it was pouring rain.
And it was last run last day.
Yeah. And what I saw when I looked at the race day from January 2nd kind of started to match up with what I was seeing. I took a look at it by temperature. I took a look at it by precipitation. We'll see what I have for Dennis's punk ass after this race.
They've reached the gate. It's post time.
All right. Let's post time.
He also earlier in my DMs accused me of not having a girlfriend for the last 5 years. I was like, well, my wife would be pretty pleased to find out that I haven't had a girlfriend for the last 5 years.
Or would she?
Uh-oh.
Go in the gate.
Now just waiting on Private Spot to go back.
Yeah, I couldn't put any bet in here. I'm just gonna stick with my
Private Spot to the outside. All set. They are racing. Quick start for the favorite Nut and Faster. Also, Smoltz jumped well. And from the inside, Confection, the Fortune displaying speed. As they leave the 6.5 furlong chute, they straighten up with the main course. It's Smoltz shows the way. Confection, Fortune to the inside. Now advancing up on the outside as they head up the backstretch. There goes Jenny's Regal Man. Nut and Faster as well.
The one ended up,
the
one before ended up getting the lead,
but
is
Dujak and a margin of 3 back to a nice rendition. Royal by Nature is second last, and at the back.
I mean, 7's got the right trip if he's good enough. I don't know what happened to 9.
And 2.
9 broke well.
Far
looks
turn.
Like
Smoltz to the outside. Confection, Fortune to the inside. These 2 are 3 lengths in front of Jenny's Regal Man set to strike from third.
I mean, 7's getting a trip.
Margin of 4 back to Dujak is a 4th. Nut and Faster fifth. Half mile 45 and 2. Confection, Fortune trying to take him coast to coast. Smoltz to the outside. 3 wide bid from Jetty's Regal Man. Private Spot way out wide.
Come on with the 7.
Fortune got first run with a furlong to go. Drifting out. Here comes Smoltz down the center of the course. That floats Jenny's Regal Man way out wide. Nut and Faster up the fence, but in the final 60. Jenny's Regal Man way out wide, sweeping up and after the lead. And Jenny's Regal Man steamrolls them here.
Now I wish I'd have leveraged a little harder.
Second, Confection for third. It was tight for fourth. 118 and 1.
That was an epic woof.
And that's what I got. What did I say? I was like, oh, the one horse in here that I kind of liked that I didn't use was the 7. Ugh.
Yeah. I really wish I didn't completely whiff last week, 2 weeks ago, on and blow 2/3 my bankroll, or I could have really pressed that 7. But nevertheless, I'll take
number 7. Jenny's Regal Man gets up to win. Second, number 4, Smoltz. Third, number 2, Confection, Fortune, Photo.
Congrats, man. Very nice.
Thank you. I only played it for 2, but I will take it.
Now, if
The
that
problem is,
four,
I build up a bankroll and I start going for the longer horizontals, but the doubles have really been what's been keeping me afloat so far in this contest.
Same here.
That exacta is going to pay. Exacta and try is going to pay enormous.
Yeah, it is.
God, if that 4 started rolling on the lane, I'm going, oh, go by. Go
Yeah.
by.
That's a $167 exacta for 2.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, 10-1 is probably about what I thought that horse should have been. I'm not saying that's great value or bad value, but that's a horse I really wanted to get to before the race. Turfway, you can often get value in horses, preferably blind, which means 2 races prior, but if not, then at the very least get to them, a race before, and you can get better value more often than not. 4 to 5 on that 9. That's a terrible price. I mean, I like the 9.
Yeah,
but 4 to 5 is brutal.
That horse is way over bet.
I like to think that it was all of us saying we liked him. That
we got
the Discord whales.
Dennis had the 2.
Oh, good pick. Tell you what, I didn't have the 2 on the pace. I need to go back and look at that. Well, no, he could have. I mean, on the cutback, I wasn't quite sure he'd be able to keep up, but the 2 ran a good race.
Result of the photo for 4 showed the 9 at Nothing Faster. Coming back to the winner's circle.
I mean, I guess I'm
on the turn back, number 7, Jenny's Regal Man, a 6-year-old big eldest son by Regal Ransom, out of the Bluegrass Cat mare named Jenny's Royal
blown by in the corner.
Purple.
You guys thinking that the
winner is owned by Bruce Miller, trained by Jerry the Russian Antonuk.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to play it almost
number
standard
7, Jenny's
Turfway,
Regal Man, now a
I still,
4-time
to
winner.
me, from what I've seen so far,
he covered.
Wider is better. I don't think the rail's death if
won.
that
Unofficially
much the best,
7,
but
4,
I think
2,
wider's
9.
a little bit better.
Winner bred in PA
And
by
I think
Myron Wilson.
even maybe more importantly than wide is it just seems like speed is good. You don't necessarily go gate to wire, but you don't see too many horses making those moves from just way out of it. I mean, even last race they went like 45-3 to the half, which is very fast for Turfway maidens that are 10 days into their 3-year-old season. And some of those speed horses, held on for a piece. So I think you want to be within, 2 or 3 lengths of the pace, turning for home, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of ground being made up in the stretch.
I need to reassess everything.
Yeah, I feel like I can't believe that 9 was what finished 4th.
Josh, you said you liked the 7. What are you doing?
I know.
Price is up. The winner $20. $8.80 in the
9
middle.
eventually got up
and
for 4th, but I didn't see him.
60 to show. The winning
actually, I have
exacta
7
was
there,
7 and
but-
4.
Yeah.
$167.40.
Looking back on the optics plot, I'm really kind of kicking myself for not having that 7 more involved. But yeah,
Once again, the Karen Hoover
It's
exacta
honestly
7 and 4,
the majority of what put me onto him.
167.40
Figuring
trifecta
4 and 8 half the duel, and the 2 might be
$10.
up there. I
The
kind of
double,
dismissed the 2.
11-7,
just from the
139
cutback.
even. Super.
And I thought the 9 would get the trip to 7 guard, is truthfully what I thought would happen.
And
But that was a good ride on the 7 to put him in the right
pick 3.
spot and get him out wide.
Winning pick 3, $90.70.
He gets 4th off the layoff. He's
Scratch up to
improved
12
in his
the middle A
previous 3
for
starts, and it looks like he stepped forward again here today.
10. Race number 7 from Turfway up next
So,
in 22 minutes. Race 7.
My thought was
no
that
program changes.
if you're talking cheaper horses, if one of them doesn't break, you could get either the 4 or the 8 loose in the lead. That was sort of my logic there, and I didn't. That little small circle or small square out of the 7 just above the line. Of course, she uses a C and didn't again.
Yeah. I think the complexion of that last race completely changes if Dujac makes the break. If he's up there pressing that a little bit more. At the same time, I mean, speed held going 22-5.
22-5.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second, Chase. We've had some discussions about your math skills.
I'm sorry.
You might want to think about that one. And
I'm deep in thought right now.
Yeah, you can tell the wheels are turning.
22 and a half second will be 22, and
I'm not even listening to you, Mark. I'm ignoring you
I'm gonna
right
grab
now.
some water real quick, guys.
I'm gonna
Chase's
walk
Tinder
up.
profile says 5'13".
that Arkansas math is coming back to beat you down right now, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. Looks like the Chad Brown Refugee is opening up at 5-2. I refuse to refer that horse in any other phrase.
No, that's the appropriate way to refuse to refer to that horse, the Chad Brown Refugee, because that horse is clearly hiding from better company in any other real circuit. I was shocked. I was handicapping it. And I pulled up and I'm like, wait, complicit? That complicit? Like the horse that hates winning? That one.
I've actually made a lot of money betting
Turfway.
against this horse through the years.
Same. I have as well. I've done very well tossing that horse that hates winning. But I'm debating doing a very stupid thing with that horse right now. So
I mean, at some point, the hate goes too far, and if this horse actually goes off around, I think that's a more than square price. My hatred is based on the fact I thought he'd be 7-5 or whatever.
Yeah, and a horse with 6 layoff lines in a how many start career? 6 layoffs. Yeah, 6 layoffs in a 10 start career. That does not tell you a sound horse that yeah.
Country Trick. Is that the horse that won at Kentucky Downs at like 100 to
1? That's Country Chick.
Is that the same horse?
Is it Trick or Chick?
That's Chick.
Yeah, Country Chick is the one that won at Kentucky Downs.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Was
that the Mattress Mac horse?
No. That one was meet before last. I don't know. I think I hit like a 10 or 11 to 1 in the race before. I was like, oh hell yeah, look at me, world! And then someone hit like a pick 3 with that horse at like, I don't know. I think there might have been roughly a quarter, 1/4 of a dollar in the win pool for that horse, and got paid on a pick 3.
It's not the horse we all talked about. Hey, look at this Mattress Mac horse here. And then none of us bet the horse. No one, not a one of us put any money on the horse.
There was that is like, I swear I can pick the words James Mackingvale just like out of a word search puzzle on the side of a building now, because yesterday I was looking at a maiden race that like I had completely tossed one horse, then I looked at it, I did a scan through, and I just saw James Mackingvale. I was like, I'm not going to get Mattress Mac.
yeah. What track was that? Because I think
it was here at Turfway.
Was that at Turfway? Because I remember one of you guys were like, really? You're not going to use the Mattress Mac horse?
That was me. That was my shock.
FYI, I just added a couple of drops of water to this, and it definitely opens up. There's definitely a little less heat. What you still got are you drinking that neat over there, Mark, or you got ice in there?
No, I've been putting one ice cube into it, but my ice cube is gone on me now. But it's pretty good. It does get a little hot without a little bit of an ice cube in it, just to take the edge off. I'm not a liquor at room temperature person. I like up a little bit cool, but it gets very, very tasty. I'm quite impressed. And when you get right down to it, it's not that expensive for the quality you're getting. It's one of those.
That's
it's a value proposition.
That's the hard part, is finding it at the price that you did.
Were you in a control state or no?
Vermont is not.
Vermont is not.
Okay.
I asked the guys at the liquor store, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just got it in, and we don't know anything about it." So
must be nice.
Oh man.
So I took half of what they got in.
Dude, if that 9 last race was 4-5, this 2 has got to be 1-9. Like, if you thought that horse was that good of a favorite, like, this 2 should be an even bigger. But I definitely want to beat this.
Yeah, the 2's not taking the money, I thought. And I mean, I don't expect it to change a ton. I mean, the horse will probably be favored, but I don't think the horse is going to be, nearly as short as I thought. This horse might keep 2-1. There's actually a couple of horses in here I like at a, silly ass price. So I got to figure out how I want to play this.
I know I really did like the 11, but the 11's
did
gonna be 3-1, 7-2, 4-1. I was hoping that the 2 would take so much money, the 11 would float up to like 5 or 6-1.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get good win bet value in this 11, but I was decent value in the exotics. And I'm not sure. I haven't checked the well pays yet. It's still kind of early. But the 11's probably one of my top 2 picks here. Actually, my top pick, who I'm getting a great price on, is this 8-horse Twin Channel.
I literally was just about to mic up and go, hey, how about this 8 that's basically doubled in value? It's an English Channel. Like, what's not to like here?
I mean, the horse is 2 for 3 at Turfway, 2 for 4 at the distance. It has early speed, which seems to be pretty effective so far in the last couple of races. I mean, there is other content, but I mean, I think this horse makes a lot of sense at 5-1, at 10-1. I mean, this horse is a win bet for me. I don't think you'll get that, but
yeah, I don't think that holds. But I'm sitting here staring at the double pools, trying to figure out what we're going into in the next leg, trying to figure out if there's something playable here, and it's marginal.
I had the 5, the 8, and the 9 here, outside of the 2.
You said the 5, 8, and the 9. You said,
yeah. The 5 and the 9 were more kind of like connection plays. The trainer on the 9 is excellent after the claim, and I'm pretty sure really good at all weather. Yeah, also 20% on all weather. Has had a good start to the meet. Kim Hammond, she's hitting at 23%. So at prices, I kind of like the 5 and the 9, and have decent jocks aboard. I mean, Alex Richard is hitting at 19% at the meet. Malcolm Franklin has not exactly had a great start to the meet, but at Turfway, I use him. I don't think he's one of those jocks that make you think twice about using the horse. And then I'm right with you guys on the 8. I think the 8 looks real good, real consistent horse. It looks like on speed figures, and coming off the layoff, last time off the layoff, fired a pretty good race. So I think that race wins this one. It fires that same race that it fired off on the March 9th.
I think I'm gonna go a little bit more vertical here, past an exacta, and do a trifecta, using the inside 2 horses, the 1, the 2, and then putting them over the horse that I really liked on the outside, the 11, that we mentioned. You guys have literally talked about every single horse that I liked for this race. The way I saw it was 2, 1, 8, 11. I think I really feel like 2 has a good setup here. But I do like 1 if he can just kind of hit the rail and go. And I think there's a really interesting double possibility to this next race. But I see we have about 10 minutes to post. I need to stretch my legs for a minute. I will be right back.
I was gonna say I'm really shocked at how aggressively people are betting the 2 in the next race. Not that I don't like the horse, it's just the 2-2 double has been bet down to 8-1. That just to me seems amazingly short, given the fact that I think we're all talking about how that next race is really wide open.
Yeah, and I think I have a horse that if I'm going to play this next one, I'm going to take a stand. and probably go because I feel like I've got a, an idea of what I'm looking for in the next race, and I feel like this one is a little bit more of the question mark since we've had so many sprint races tonight. We're moving back to route and hadn't really seen a route until since like earlier in the card, unless I'm just forgetting a race, which is entirely possible. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Also about Josh's 10. I mean, or not 10. I'm sorry, your 9. Alex Atchard and Kim Hammond, 60% past 60 days, 6 of 10 when teaming up together with a $8.30 ROI. I mean, not a big sample size, 10 races, but it's not like they won 3 of 5 or 1 of 2. I mean, that's something is there. I mean, this horse has speed. Clearly was this 5 furlongs was a little bit too sharp, and at the price of whatever he is, 30 something to 1, 28 to 1. I mean, I'm all about that horse, if a win play show flyer.
Yeah, I mean, with this being, like we were saying with the connections here, this is definitely just a real big connection play, and like looking at the PP, yeah, if you look back at their earlier turf races when they were with Tom Amos, the horse fits. Hasn't didn't do great under Luch and Anthony Quartolo. Well, I can never pronounce his name. Quartarolo? How do you pronounce that, Mark?
You're way better at that than I am.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, so I think maybe a switch to all weather here might fit. Interesting thing about this horse is if you look at the out of Into Mischief, or Into Mischief is a sire of the 9, $175,000 stud fee. The horse only sold for $30,000. So you don't always see that steep of a drop from a stud fee to sale price, but still there's some quality there. It's got a couple of races at Saratoga, or got a race at Saratoga, Churchill, Indiana Downs. So, yeah, and especially now this price is floating up to 28 to 1. I'm definitely interested. Quartarolo is how Dennis pronounced.
Yeah, and
sounds right.
Let's pull up this race. So yeah, I mean, we already talked about a lot of the ones that I liked. We're on a lot of the same horses. 8 and 11, I thought were a clear cut for me, top 2, as I'm trying to get around this 2 horse. Josh and I, we both kind of like the 9 on a connections play. I like the 10 a little bit. She's also a pretty monstrous price. It's a bit of a stretch, but you're getting 17 to 1. Rodney Prescott's a pretty adequate Turfway jockey. Yeah, this horse was, if you just ignore the December 14th and June 29th race where maybe, just wasn't really caring for the surface that day, maybe didn't care for the track. Dirt doesn't translate to synthetic quite as well. But all the turf races are pretty respectable from a speed figure perspective, and just from an overall performance. I mean, that 5 furlong dash was beat, a 6th, but only beaten 3 lengths. Gets a stretch out here. That's a horse I'm a little bit interested in. I think on the stretch out, we'll see speed from this 10, despite not usually making or being on the lead. And he has won at a route before, so I'm not sure that the distance is his best, but I think she can maybe manage it. I also realize I'm switching pronouns as I speak, but you'll have that. So the 10's a long shot that I was. There's maybe another one to work into the bottom half of an exotic somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up playing a double here. I'm using a lot of this 2 in this race. I mean, I understand you guys trying to get around the horse. I ended up doing an AB daily double after getting knocked out of both of my pick 3s in the last leg. I'm using a lot of the 2. I want a little of the 8 and the 11 in here. I think we've talked both to death. I don't think I need to really get really get deep here in either of them. And I'm going to try to get this 2 into the 2 and the 9 in the next race. Obviously, I massively prefer the doubles, the 9 over the 2. This 2-2 double is way over bet. I understand Chase talking about this, getting a little rain and the inside getting good at Turfway if that happens. But I don't see the 2 being that much better than the 9 in the next leg. So hopefully this ends up like 2-9 or something like that, and then that would be good for me. But I played it as a 10x, 2x, 2x, 1x. So I'm very much levered to the front end of this double. So a 2 over 9 would be best. 2 over 2 is fine.
Am I crazy for liking the 10 last race?
And the last race, it's not one I have written down. I'm gonna pull it up and see.
No, I honestly suggestion wouldn't fault you there. You're talking. There's not a lot of squares up top. Not a lot of horses with closing speed. And I could see this being, if I had to go 5 deep, the 5th horse would have been the 10. I actually looked at that horse a little bit, and there's some logic to get there. No, I can't fault you there at all, and you're going to get paid if you're right.
The one thing I can say about this horse is if you look, every time they've tried it on dirt, it's been fucking awful. Turf and all weather seem to be where this horse wants to run. So if you throw out all of its dirt races, I think the horse is a little bit closer than it looks just off of quick pass. It looks like the trainer is pretty decent off the layoff. Is 0 for 4 first start with, but and it's got the bug aboard who's hitting at 12%. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna try and be live to this horse a little bit. Dennis says that I am insane because he hates mountaineer horses. But
no.
if you like I said, if you throw out most of his mountaineer races, most of his mountaineer races, looks at least somewhat close.
Yeah, that horse to me is actually interesting. That was kind of the 5th horse. I went 4 deep. If I had to go 5 deep, it would have been the 10. Bugs up. A 13% trainer last year who's been hitting at 50% in the meet so far. And if you throw out the dirt races, this is the horse when we talk about horses with, dirtied up form. This is the definition of dirtied up form right here. A horse that is good on turf, good on synthetic, but has been running on dirt for the past, 2 races, and also running with a really low percentage trainer for the last couple, and getting back to a trainer that's a little bit of a higher percentage guy. So, that's the kind of horse. That horse probably will not be 10-1. I wouldn't be surprised if you get 20-1 on that horse. That's the kind of value that you're looking for, and I think with how Josh plays, that's the kind of horse he wants to include because he's looking for those bigger swings.
I'm with you, Dennis. I don't like the horse. As I live, a stone's throw from Mountaineer, and I see the quality of horse flesh that goes through that area. And if you can't win at Mountaineer, I very rarely want to bet you anywhere outside of Mountaineer. But the one thing is there's a lot of career losers in that race. That horse was 1 for 12, but if you look at the synthetic record, 5 starts, a win in 2/3, that's really not that bad. The late trainer does well with layoffs, like Josh said. So, at 10-1, I don't really hate the pick. I just kind of hate where he's coming from more than anything else.
Just saying.
So you're not a Game On Dude fan then?
I'm just saying.
There's exceptions to every rule.
If my double comes in 5 or 9 in the first race and 10 in the second race, I win. Because the 9-10 double for $1 is paying $1,100 right
now. Ooh.
Good luck to you. So I do have a play in the 7th. I'm gonna play a bet that I almost never play. I'm actually gonna play a trifecta. I don't like anyone running the last race. I like the 2 who's going to be too short. I like the 9 and 13 and even the 3 a little bit, but I don't want to do a 3x4 double or something like that. So instead, I'm going to play a trifecta. My thoughts are I think this 2 horse has to hit the board, I'm going to try to beat him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to key the 2 in second in a trifecta, and then also key him in third. So I'm going to put the 8 and the 11 on top because I do think they're the likeliest winners. I'm going to key the 2 in second, and then play the I have to. We're in the 7th race, yeah. The 1, 8, 9, 10, 11 in third. And then I'm basically going to play it the same way with the 8, 11 on top, with the 1, 8, 9, 10, 11 in second, with the 2 in third. So I'm going to play a trifecta. I play it for $1 with the cents with the 2 in third. We've already talked about pretty much all of those horses.
The field has turned. They are approaching the
I guess except for the one.
Now less than a minute for the
he's wheeling back on a week's rest.
7th, the start of the late double here.
Joe Ramos has been pretty good so far at Turfway. He does really well for this trainer. This trainer does pretty well in claiming races in general. Very strong in sprinter route. So I think this horse is one of the few that has like true sprint speed. And if the rail ends up getting more fair, or if speed is holding, I think this one could hang around. I don't think it likely wins, but I think she could hang around for a piece at the end.
So I decided that I'm going to press my opinions here in this race, using the 1 and 2. I believe I gave you the trifecta earlier. And I just posted this in the Midwest chat. I've got my part wheel starting with 1, 2. I'm also going to box the 1, 2 in an exacta. I'm going to do a $5 flat win on the 1.
They've reached
and then I'm going a $2 double 1, 2 to my top choice in the following race, the 8.
For Correas, Complicit. 6-year-old daughter by Blame out of a Giants Causeway mare coming in.
Looks like they're at the gate.
Channel's locked up for Calumet.
You know what? I'm also probably gonna. I hate to do it, but I think I might need to make a win bet on this 8. I hate to be over leveraged the same horse, but I feel like I have an edge. I wish I'd have over leveraged that 7 last race.
3 left.
So
Ray,
I do think this 8 is a massive overlay at 7. So I'm gonna take a shot with this 8.
I don't disagree with you, but if I could get more like 10 to 1, I would be there.
Yeah, I'm leveraged this 5 and 9. Going out.
Loads up to the outside.
The 5 and 9 going out to the 9 and 10.
They're at the post. Start from Caleb Hay.
The 2, 5 and 9 out to 9 and 10.
They are.
And then
racing.
The 11 out to 9 and 10.
Good level start. I'm Lucky's girl.
I got shut out of the win
to
bet.
The lead shortly after the start. Lessons from Avery
we'll
had to check as Tricky Tune displaying speed and Tiz Trish makes it 3 across the course.
So I'm effectively 4 wide here.
Position between horses. Country Check against the fence. Complicit as they navigate the first turn.
Long shots we like at 31 to 1 and 20.
Tappet has moved up into the 3rd position with 6 furlongs to travel, chasing Tricky Tune, who'll lead him up the
Watch, there's a 2. It'll come in that exacta. None of us.
Out wide, Tappet 3rd. Complicit, the daughter of Blame, up the inside from 4th. Then comes I'm Lucky's Girl, Twin Channel. I'm Lucky's Girl just took a tough step and has unseated the jockey. Spill on the backside involving I'm Lucky's Girl. The quarter was 24 and 1. Tricky Tune still shows the way. Tappet 3rd.
They were almost last, and
I'm like over here trying to
Country
find.
Chick rides the rail as Warriors ways underway. Then 2 for the links back to Arian Ray.
The 3
$1 billion industry on a potato farm.
Is at the back, but on the move. The half 47 and 1 still chasing.
2 looks loaded. 11 has a little bit of horse. This 2 looks off.
Tappet with a 3 wide bid as Complicit is going to try to split horses as they stack up 4 deep with a quarter to go.
You don't like to win, too.
Horses,
come on, you don't like to win.
You don't hang for the 9. Let the 9 win. Let the 9 pass you.
As they straighten away just outside of
get wide, 11, get wide.
Complicit being ridden confidently up top. Whip comes out on Tip and Tappet. Here's Twin Channel with a late bid up the inside, wide open. Complicit still shows the way. Way out wide. Lessons from Avery is lunging up the fence. Twin Channel down to the wire.
I mean, I saw the 8 flying inside. 11 was outside. I thought for sure 2 was
went by about a length. A 3-way photo for second in 138
got some coverage into the next.
and 3.
A little 9 in the next, and we're good to go here.
Yeah. I don't regret the play. I mean, 9 to 5 is a better price than had some prices. I mean, we got a thrill, but ultimately a race that we all kind of like prices pretty much chalked out.
It looks like the 3 was the horse that tossed the jock or lost the jock, and our favorite boy
And the
Clamp
jockey
says, "Stop using twin spires
that was
because your
aboard the 3
stream is
involved in
40
that spill,
seconds
Rogelio
behind."
Miranda, is on
Yeah,
his
I
feet. He
was
walked
I
to
was
the
on
ambulance
TVG.
under
I
his
kind of
own
knew how
power.
everything played
Again,
out, and
Miranda
was
up
trying
on
to
his feet,
play it
and
cool.
he
I'm
walked
really
to the
that far
ambulance
behind.
under his own power.
Well, there's also
Judges
the
posting number 2
YouTube
complicit
upload.
Yeah,
as
I
the
think
race
it's because
whistle
if you're
for
watching
second.
the race through here, through my thing, it's gonna be you're gonna get. It's not the Twin Spires that's behind. It's the actual YouTube stream. There's a slight delay in casting.
So after I talked up the definition of a horse you want to fade from layoff lines and everything else, the horse, dominates. So, yeah, I had that cold.
Well, I messed up my bet, so I'm actually live for $3.
And that was Dennis just DM me, let me know that was dumped in the last race.
Yeah, his
Who
buddy
was it?
too,
Who was it?
Rogelio.
Rogelio.
Oh, he's in riding
Oh,
good.
he's
He
in
has
riding
a
really
twin
well.
rep show
Yeah,
number 4
that
lesson
sucks.
from Avery to be second, third the 8 twin channel, fourth number
Hope
11
he's
tip
hope he's okay.
24811.
Dennis is running pal. Rob is a big Rogelio fan, which makes sense as Dennis is also a Rogelio fan.
I guess
Let's start.
he's on his feet.
No, that's good to hear. Very good to hear.
Oh,
It's always scary running off up, couple thousand pound animal who's going at 30 miles an hour. That's scary.
So what do we got? Any good racing this weekend? You guys looking at?
I have not looked at a single race beyond today, to be honest with you.
I feel like I've got a pretty good little edge going in Aqueduct, so I'm really excited about that card. It could chalk out again tomorrow, but it was pretty exciting today. You had some pretty good races.
What did you see today? I know you were pretty excited about the duck. Do you think it was the rail that was on or
In
speed?
the winner's
100%.
circle,
It's
number 2.
speed is on because it's finally gotten a chance to dry out, and the rail is back on now. Also, it had been off even on a fast track, and coming back from all that moisture, I had a feeling that it was going to kind of tip towards the rail. And yesterday, like Captain Frost in the first, like I had that horse picked the last time it ran, and looking at it this time, I still like on paper didn't think it should win, but kind of had a hunch of how it was going to play, and just when it's a little less, a little less cerebral than Turfway in terms of like trying to work through how I think a track is going to play. Like Aqueduct to me looked so cut and dry that I was able to it was just easy today. I almost got that 40-1 home in the 7th, but I had the exacta.
I'm not quite sure where I'll be playing this weekend. There's some good stuff going on. I'll probably take a look at Tampa tomorrow. Been having a lot of good success there, and I really enjoy the track. So it's a fun place to play. See what the card looks like. And a little Los Alamitos, probably in the evenings. I do enjoy my quarters. So
Yeah, I don't think there's really a lot of high profile racing this weekend as far as derby preps or big name contenders or headliners that are running. I don't think you'll have too much of that until Pegasus in 2 weeks in Gulfstream. But if I dabble in anything tomorrow, it most likely will be either Aqueduct and or Santa Anita. I've been having a really strong meet at Santa Anita since they opened up again after Christmas. It's not like I'm really picking up on a particular bias or edge or anything like that. It's just races are kind of making sense to me. So I'm going to try to keep that going and might pick up Aqueduct. I was doing pretty well there before the weather got bad. When the weather got bad, I started struggling a little bit more. So if it's back to being fast and, with Chase saying the rail's been on, I might take a look tomorrow. But might just watch some good football too. I haven't really decided.
And also I guess with Aqueduct, there was a little bit of a temperature thing at play because yesterday morning it was cold enough that I was like, okay, that is going to be a 100% frozen rail, and you could see it like thaw out through the course of the day. It's going to be like pretty nice day in New York tomorrow, so maybe that outside doesn't carry quite as well, but I mean, throughout the course of the day, it seemed to be that the horse that got there and cleared and didn't concede the rail in the turn was really doing well.
Yo, guys, I don't mean to alarm anybody, but there is a 13-horse sprint about 16 minutes away from going off at Sam Houston. What in the world?
Oh, I meant to look at Sam Houston.
Dude, I just looked at it. They have 14 horses entered and only one scratched.
DJ has busted off the last 4 straight winners at Sam Houston. Cherry.
Let's make it 5.
Take Charge Chase hit the board at 15-1. I was pissed off because I got David Cabrera on Take Charge Chase, and I didn't get Diego with the Carl Broberg mount. Also on a ton of steroids apparently. Sorry, I meant power juice. Just kidding, Carl. I don't mean that. You're not watching.
I don't know about you. I'm taking a look at this Sam Houston.
That's what I'm about to pull up.
6 furlong, 5,000 claiming race.
What race are they in over there?
Race 5. Scratch the 8, Onomatopoeia.
Much to the announcer's delight, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the 5 overanalyzed fake news. The
Here
1
it comes. Do I did it dum did do.
Priest and the Rabbi. Wow, some of these horses have not run in a while.
A 13-horse sprint. I respect it.
Dude, I wonder what this is going to look like. I can already tell that Mark is going to put his entire action bet bankroll on the 3.
On the
All
what?
About Voodoo.
What's the name?
All About Voodoo.
Oh God, where is this? Remy?
No,
Oh
Sam
man,
Houston.
yeah, no, got Houston. Oh, yeah. We'll make this the yep. Sorry, I was trying to handicap Los Alamitos for tonight, trying to get plus 8 in.
I just love it. We had Mark, Mr. I only play Saratoga last year, and then come this year, I've seen Mark chase pick 5s at Mountaineer. I've seen him. I'm pretty sure I've seen him play at Presque Isle Downs. Then get hooked on Los Al quarter horse races, Delta Downs, and now we got Turfway Park.
I feel a little dirty, Josh. Just a little bit.
Oh man, this is actually an interesting race here.
Who do you like in this race, Josh?
I mean,
these aren't exactly great horses.
no, and a lot of these horses are like extremely similar.
There's a shitload of layoff horses in this field. What is going on? I don't really follow the Remington circuit. That's going to make this a little tricky.
I mean, you probably always safe betting the 2 here. The Broberg Cabrera special. Let's take a look at the 2.
Hey,
Yes. If anybody's actually paying attention to Turfway, the 2 and the 9 are both co-favorites at the moment, and yet look at the wheel pace to the 2 of them. The 2 is a massive favorite, so either the win pool has it wrong or the multis have it wrong.
Hey Josh, do you have a Latin American bat signal you can put up? Because we have a Mexican horse running at Sam Houston that we could stream live and then increase our viewership.
Oh yeah, we got to get the Caribbean that Caribbean horse racing Facebook group to jump back on here.
That's what we need.
Oh man, that was a good time. That was a good time though. That was funny. That was for the pick, was it the pick six force out at
It was Churchill.
At
Churchill, yeah.
Downs. I want to say we were all out by the second race. Well, I mean, I was out at least by the second race because that's kind of my thing. It's kind of what I do.
I mean, I'm really looking for a play at Turfway, but I just got.
All my money is spoken for at this point, so I'm live
Are
to the
you
9.
almost out again?
Yeah, I'm live to the 9 and the 10 in doubles. That's it. $3.
I mean, you keep improving my level of bourbon that I'm going to get. So thank you, Josh. But
Yeah, no problem.
You're allowed to something here, right, Mark?
Because I don't work in a facility with people who are professionals at repackaging things. No, don't worry about it. You're gonna get great bourbon.
2, 8, 9, 13. But much more 2, 9 than 8, 13.
Yeah, I had 2, 9, 13 in this race as well. I mean, the horse I was a little interested in, I thought my race would be this Bridesmaid horse, the 3. Just on the cutback, horse is 1 for 21 with 8 second places. Maybe a route's not what this horse wants to do. But I don't know. I mean, speed's been playing pretty strong. I'm not sure that I want a horse that's a dead closer going to route distance, cutting back to a sprint. Yeah,
with a 7% jock, and no, I mean, I don't. I understand where you're coming from. It's one of those ones you got to get a bit to get there. Morning line was really screwy. I mean, no way at 6-1 would I be interested in that horse. But yeah, I don't hate it, but it's hard to get to at those kind of prices.
I mean, it's 17-1. It's the. Am I going to make a big investment on it? Like, no. Will I even bet anything? Maybe, but it's not a confident play. Whatever. It'd be more of if this horse gets in the 20-1 range, I might throw a couple bucks on it to win show or something like that.
You might get that. I mean, profit line's 9-1. 18-1 is a good price on that horse. If you're saying, geez, those 3 things that I said were interesting have to happen. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of I really thought this 2 was going to be short, judging at the probables and everything else. I mean, of course, about singling even when I was looking to potentially play a pick 4. But this horse is not taking that much money in the win pool.
Yeah, honestly, the favorite's 4-1 in this race. I mean, it's a big field, but when the favorite's 4-1, it's telling you that the board's saying, or the whatever smart people or however you want to phrase it are saying that there's no clear-cut favorite in this race. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like the 9 more than I like the 2, but I mean, the 2 is probably the logical horse. I was expecting the 2 to be more like 9-5, 2-1 range.
Yeah, I mean, I like the 9 probably more too. Like now that I'm looking at it a little more detailed, just off the trainer. I mean, like we said earlier, Ron Brown is having a just unconscious meet right now. So I think they're both worthy favorites. I think they're both prices that are playable if you think you like one and don't like the other.
Yeah, I mean, and Ron Brown's having an absolutely unconscious meet. He's not a terrible trainer the rest of the year, though. He's a 16% trainer normally. That's nothing to scoff at. Horse that has seemed to did well in the turf. They took him off the claim, and he's come over to the synthetic and improved. I think they may be finding is an appropriate distance here. And you're seeing a trainer that Jackie trainer combo that hits it just absolutely ludicrous percentages. So yeah, a lot to like here for me. I see if Rickamel, I don't know, Josh can pronounce his name better than I can, but see if the jock can find a good trip for him.
I'm still looking.
I'm going to be
Houston
pressing my daily double opinion here. Alvin Jimenez was the was the sprint jock that I really kind of wanted to target today. Um, Seeing how the previous sprint races have played, I'm really kind of encouraged by what I'm seeing. I think it kind of you know what I've seen, and the eye test tells me is that I'm pretty comfortable with my top opinion here. Now I want to take a really inexpensive stab at pressing this though, because for one, for two, I'm not going to do like an 8 overall exact or anything. I'm going to do this in 10-cent super increments, keying the 8 on top. And then I'm going to use some big prices that I kind of liked in here underneath, as well as the horse that I'm a little bit afraid of on the inside, but I think I can get him underneath in second or third. So I put together a little 8 over 2-7 over 2-7 over 1-3 super, and it's big balloons if 7 gets in there. I mean, I'll have enough money for big balloons full of heroin.
Per chase, we're more of a Coke type of a group.
That's true. I've been on a 3-day. I've slept like 2 hours in the last few nights, and so I'm just I think I'm sweating legal amphetamine salts right now at this point with the Adderall.
I mean, in your geographic area, it's more bath salts, isn't it?
Oh no, we get the cartel glass around here.
Oh, nice, very nice.
There's a whole HBO special on it called Meth Storm. If you're unaware.
Don't know if it's something you want to be bragging about, but you do you.
So
I take pride in it.
Race
I'm telling
5
you,
here
I'm just saying we get the pure drugs.
Race 5
The
here at
pure
Sam
meth?
Houston. I think I like the 2, the 13, and 14. So we're gonna fade this 11 here. You look at it all, Caleb, or any of you guys?
I mean, I glanced at it. I don't really see. I mean, I don't really see why this 11 is 4-5. That's kind of crazy.
I don't either. I don't understand why it's so short.
I was on the 2 and the 10 a little bit. The 10's got the layoff to contend with, but yeah, I was on 2, 10, 14 maybe, or was it 14 or 13? Let me check. Yeah, 13. Sorry, 2, 10, 13.
I have some money on this 3, so
I didn't.
All about voodoo, yes.
Let me see. I'm going to steal DJ's play directly from him because he picked up Sam Houston today doing a sheet. So let me see what he said, and I'll tell you what I think.
If we had not been doing this stream tonight, I would have been going Sam Houston pretty hard. Quite honestly, those low takeouts are super sexy.
Oh yeah, but Sam Houston. I mean, big fields and low takeouts. Like, there's money made out there.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're talking those kind of structures, it's people who are solid handicappers. Hey, I'm not somebody who's picking numbers. I actually have to handicap this, and that's what you want as a handicapper.
2, 4, 10 box.
I mean, but you got to remember that there are some people who don't like low takeout.
And those people are idiots.
I'll have this hearing thing where I can't hear bitch frequencies. I love you guys.
Oh man.
The t-shirt talk. Dennis is liking the 2 at Sam. What's not to like about Broberg and Cabrera?
I have this like mental block about taking a short price horse in a huge field. And like, it shouldn't matter, but like for me, objectively, like if I see a horse that's like 9-5 in a 14 horse field, it better be like bricks and mortar against Zulu Alpha or something, because like I just can't deal with a $5,000 claimer having a 4-5 horse in a 14 horse field.
2, 4, 10, box them up. That's the DJ Vasquez play. And I was just going through his sheet and looking at the results, and he has hit every single winner right on the note so far in the meet.
Well, I tell you what, I like the 2 and the 10 anyway. And the 10's 23-1. So on my non-streaming ADW, I'm gonna play a 210 exacta box.
Am I doing this right?
Oh, so now you're taking the short price. Now that I say it, it's when you decide to just mush my shit.
Yep.
Caleb. God.
Was I doing that right? Was I doing the DJ right?
Would you he doesn't look like a teddy bear though when he does it. Like he looks menacing. Like I just think it's cute and want to hug you when you do it.
So we're gonna get off the stream, and I'm gonna have to like handicap Los Al in 3 minutes or something for a damn pick place 8.
Yeah, I'll have
to time as it takes.
I'll have to start immediately on.
Field is at the
Aqueduct
gate. It's
for
post
tomorrow.
time. Post time for tonight's 5th race.
Post time. They're loading in. Punctual over here at Sam Houston. Got a little bonus handicapping action here in Sam Houston
Well, it's not in Florida, so they're punctual.
or California.
I mean, it's also ironic
Runners
that
moving in.
one of the most
Rabbi,
better-friendly
Wally
tracks
Peabody.
is in one of the least better-friendly states.
Yeah.
Fearless Alex.
Well, 2
Added
of them
attraction.
are, so Remy's also pretty better friendly, quite honestly.
Yeah. It still astounds me you can't have
Brian-
ADW in Texas.
Brian's like
Valid
no love for the
decision.
6 or 13. Oh, you guys are on Sam Houston. No, I'm on the
And
9 and
apart.
10 anyways.
Green Silks.
Turfway.
Traction hesitates,
Yeah,
backs
I had
away.
no love for the 6 or the 13. I could. The 6 was not a pass for me.
Grand Bling, all about voodoo.
I just want to see this 14 just get out to a nice lead and just keep going. Out in the
Crazy
parking lot.
Ivan.
So you're asking for
Overanalyze
reserve,
fake
right, then?
news.
I don't know what I'm asking for. I have no idea if this 14 is going to be able to even get the lead.
I was impressed
I'm a
that you
rock.
got optics for this track. I was shocked.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know that was.
Yeah, I went to look today for the
Uncle
Stronic
Poncho.
5, and I couldn't find it for Golden Gate. Yet somehow they have it for Sam
Tim.
Houston.
Did you see the plot for this race? Fucking when you have 13 horses in the sprint, the plot gets a little murky.
Yeah,
I'm a rock to the
I
outside.
mean, I wouldn't want to have a closer in this race.
All in line.
Which,
All set.
that's kind of unrelated to optics. Just there's a lot of traffic to work out.
When
I'm
you're
kinda-
talking big field like that, oftentimes it comes from all
And
over the
they're
place.
off.
So much early speed.
I'm a rock.
Yeah.
Breaks right on a top towards the outside.
Yeah,
Wally
I think
Peabody
that
just
sweet
comes
spot's
added
gonna be
attraction, cruising up towards
the
the
second
inside.
flight.
I'm a rock and added attraction. These are the top
I'm really
two.
kinda
Valid
interested to
decision, about
see
take third outside
how
Wally Peabody out wider there.
Asmussen
Comes
performs
Grand
because he always
Bling
keeps
further back in
the
the field.
string
Hustle along,
at
overanalyze fake news. Just
like
past
Remington,
Nim, further back there too.
Sam
Uncle
Houston,
Poncho
Lone
towards
Star,
the outside. There comes
even some of the
a
Louisiana
band
track.
apart. Further back in the field there,
Because
a priest and the rabbi. Towards
he
the back
has
of the field with
not been
Crazy Ivan as
firing
they speed
anywhere
towards that far
except for
turn. Added
Remington,
attraction
and
has
I
lead.
kind
I'm
of
a rock
wanted to
up on
see
the outside. Here
if
comes a
he's
three
maybe
wide
going
move
to
from
get
Grand
anything
Bling.
going,
It's these
or
three across
if
the
he's going to
racetrack.
be a
It's still
good
added attraction
solid
with
fade
those
the
in front.
first
Added
week or
attraction.
two.
Here
The
comes the
Oaklawn
challenge
meet
right
or
now,
further.
and it's coming from Grand Bling towards the outside, who's now put a neck in
this
front.
is
Added
pace
attraction
setup.
tries to
I
fight
was
right back.
not
These are the top
expecting this to
two
be
with
strung
less
out
than a
like
quarter
this.
mile to go.
Looks like the
It's added
militia's in full
attraction. Who
effect.
now kicks for home. Grand Bling
Uh-huh.
right to the outside. These are the top two now with an eighth to go.
Once that
Valid
10 sprouts
decision is starting to
wings.
run on Nim, and the yellow cap is now moving up on the outside as well. Added attraction finds
Yeah,
more. The main
this
danger looks
is,
like Nim, and
oh,
Nim
he
is
might
out
get
wider
up.
now, making it
Seven,
Grand
He might
Fearless.
get up.
Alex has come out of
7
nowhere
maybe?
as
He might
well.
get there.
Still for a
Maybe,
final 16.
maybe.
Added attraction
might.
trying to hold on. Here's Nim.
Not
One
gonna
final
happen.
try.
Nope,
Added
hold
attraction
off.
does enough. It's
Oh,
added
by
attraction.
half a
Nim,
length.
Fearless Alex. and
That's
Grand
still good
Bling.
picks for
12 flat.
who'd you say that was, Chase?
DJ Vasquez.
It's good picks. I mean, that 10, I like the 10 as well. 23-1 you got, and that horse ran third.
Man, so I'm a few seconds behind you, and that is hard. Oh no, 2 stayed up. He just hit an ice cold pick 5. Ice cold pick 5.
Ooh, nice. What's that pay?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at the will plays. I don't even know if they do an early pick 5 either.
If they don't, he hit it twice.
Oh.
He pot cleared it for $2 if they didn't,
He had a $200 pick four.
All right, so we're back to Turfway, and our boy, Mr. Middle Move, aka Brian, aka Backdoor NHC qualifier.
It's a hot pace.
And here comes
the Middle Move.
He's on the 6 and the 13 here. And I'm looking at Sam Houston, so I was extremely confused. So he's got Icy Street and Promised here. Promised is the favorite? What? We got 3 co-favorites at 4-1, huh? Interesting.
For whoever was asking, yes, Pow does whisper right into my ear. I hear it nonstop.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't go to Houston and tailgate the opening of the Sam Houston gates.
I thought Texas wasn't so gay friendly.
It's a new Texas. Same as the old Texas.
Well, the 6 and the 13. What are we seeing in the 6 and 13 now?
I can see the 13. I mean, I think that one makes sense. The 6, I have a harder time getting to the 6, but the last race was not good, which kind of is what turns me off the 6. Any race before that was against a lot better than what he's facing here. This Churchill and then West Coast races were all much better than a Turfway $5,000 claiming race. But the fact that he ran that poorly last out, I mean, I guess you could argue that he maybe didn't want to go that far, but he's won it a mile before. So I just think he doesn't like the surface or the horse is out of form since switching barns. So I didn't go to the 6. I would need a pretty generous price to end up there.
Just FYI, I think I might have misread the 10 and the 13's boxes on the plot. Hence why I love the 10, because I thought the 10 was the 13. So,
yeah, one of the knocks on optics is when you have a horse whose shape is just completely buried within something, and it's like, I don't see it. Where did it go? And you have to kind of do like the hover over for it to pop up. Sometimes of course it's because it's the surface change and everything. Here's my one last knock on optics, and it has nothing to do with optics itself. It has to do with Discord. And as soon as another horse wins, everyone looks optics and says, "Oh, it's so obvious." I mean, these things are still up to interpretation. Like, we just showed you a circle square Rorschach and you were able to come up with what you saw, but it's so obvious.
Starting
so obvious.
Post time.
And I'm one of the people that says it too.
It's the same as TG's, where everybody goes, "Oh, that was a third draft horse." Obviously, it was.
Yes, yes.
No matter what,
but this is even more interpretation because it's colors and boxes.
To the jackpot 6 of 33,980.
And we're off.
Some change. They are racing.
Quick. I didn't waste any time getting loaded.
Quick start for early retirement who came out running. Also from the inside, there goes Harlan's Vader. Great display.
I have no action here. What does everyone else have?
I'm on 9 and 10.
Cashing a $2 daily double to the 8, and then I am at 8 over 2-7.
Iron Mike is
2-7-1-3
super. Up the backstretch,
Mm-hmm.
then comes Icy Street.
$10
Advancing to the outside, there goes Lethal Levy. Then a link for the back to play him or Fold'em as they
tell you what, if I know you could get
backside.
6-1 in this 9,
Crescent Warriors last 22.
They were sitting all at like 4-1.
There goes early retirement up and after the lead. Harlan's Vader still
Nine's done.
Lucky Looking is a close up third.
Done?
Then
sure
Gray
about
just
that,
got put in a
Chase?
tight
He was
spot.
bouncing and not responding. Here he comes now.
No.
He's around the turn up on the outside.
Mine
Here
looks
comes
pretty,
Promise now.
looks
Lethal
getting
Levy
worse.
is being
12
shoved upon as
leads
they run to
burn,
the top of the
13
stretch.
minutes.
There goes Lucky Looking up and
Who
after
the hell
the
just cut to
lead.
the corner?
Up the fence,
10?
Harlan's
This
Vader running a big
9
one now.
great
Great
for
emerges
me.
from the
Looks
inside.
like it's going to be
Lucky
2-9.
looking with
13,
the lead. Great up
no,
the
13,
inside. Promise
13's
to the
the line,
outside. It's Lucky
Oh, that
looking,
works. I'll
reaching
take
for the
it.
wire. There goes
I mean,
Promise
it's
lunging
not
up
what
to
I
the
wanted,
outside
but
to
I'll
the
take it.
inside grade as they race in deep stretch. And Promise edging away here. Promise going to win going away for Johnny McKee. Wins by about 3. Lucky
Would
looking
have
was
preferred
second.
the
Grade
9,
was
but
third. And a 3-way
that'll
photo
work too.
for fourth.
Yeah, interesting in the will pace. How much bigger the 9 played than the 13, how much bigger 13 played than the 2, given the ultimate post time odds. But
Yeah.
well, I guess it corrected a little bit late.
Double sort of sucked to that 13. I thought it was a lot better than what it was. Quite honestly, 13 actually was favored over the 9.
Why can't we do the first 4? Where I'm a Viking.
The first 4 where you were all over.
What was that?
The first 4 races where you were all over them, and then we come to the last 5, and
Yep.
if it makes you feel any better, I am back down this.
Yeah,
Well, I've got a nice solid 10 cents in the kitty for next time. I'm really gonna go out and get them.
Let's start with that ice cold super.
That's right. That's
yeah,
right. I'm
I'm
gonna bet them in the
I'm-
bar after the round. I guess have to play the 19th hole super here.
I gave back a good chunk. I'm down
Judges
50 or
posting
60
number
on the night,
13
which
Promise
sucks,
as the race
so,
winner.
yeah.
Second, number 9.
I'm
Lucky
up
looking.
to
Third, number 2, Raid,
167
and a
right
photo.
now. So I started with 53 or 56 at the start of the night. So I made it a little over $100.
What are you at now, Caleb?
167.40.
We're gonna be real close when this gets done. We're gonna.
You were at what, like 220
Jason
or
and I are
something?
real close too.
Yeah, 220.
We're gonna have a bottle of Pappy's by the time this shit's over.
That was the plan, right? We drag this
Result
along
of the
long
photograph
enough for
showed this
one of us
sixth
to
on
win
AC
it until
Street to
we
be
got a bottle of
fourth,
Happy, right?
and fifth goes
Yep.
8 early
Yep,
Oh,
that's
the
the plan.
phone's ringing. 13's getting brought down.
Oh,
Once again,
that would be
13,
great
9,
if the 13
2, 6,
comes
and 8.
down. I would
13,
much
9,
prefer
2,
the
6, and
9.
8.
Much.
I was saying. I would have actually turned a profit on the day.
I would as well. I'm 5 times as much to the 9 as I am the 13.
In the
So
winner's
that,
circle, number
that
13,
rail bias
Promise.
chase.
Promise draws in off the AE and gets it done.
Hey,
in
man.
4 Be Guided Sun by Majestic Warrior. Out of
What
the
actually
Ranger
annoys
Graduate
me is that
Mare
I
Choice
had-
Charm. The winner owned by Brenda Stewart, trained by Tracy Young
Let me see what,
and
what that would
Johnny
have been.
McKee. The winning jockey.
2 by 3 by
Promise,
3
now a
by
two-time winner
2.
from 9
So
starts
someone
on
else
the,
who's
slight
not Chase can do the
dropping
math.
class.
And,
Covered 6 furlongs and 6.5 furlongs.
That
at
paid
117.
$807.
And
I'm not that mad that I didn't play it
by his
on
own
our
Brenda
competition because I
Stewart.
probably wasn't planning on Vic Force tonight. But I'm kind of pissed I didn't throw it on my other $80. That was a hit, I thought. If you could get to my 7, which was my best pick, other 3 horses were incredibly obvious.
Yeah, they really were. Yeah, the 7 was I should have had that horse, but I didn't, and yeah.
Price is up for the nightcap. The winner $9, $5.20, and $3.20. Exacta $45.80. The try $79.20.
All right.
What
Well,
are you at, Caleb?
Yeah. What are you at now, Caleb? To the payout?
167.
Yeah, 133 even for me. So you're in the lead again, man.
You just got to not get greedy.
I could make a phone call in 1992, roughly, with my bankroll total.
I'm calling collect.
All right, fellas. Well, good night. I got to hop off, but I will talk to everybody later.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, man.
All right. Well, You guys got anything to add to this this night? It looks like everyone except for Caleb is down a little bit. Looks like we have an additional $10 getting added to a bourbon fund.
Yeah,
Yep.
nothing except for the bias has definitely changed, and that's something we've got to stay on top of, and we'll see how it plays out from there.
And it's gonna be really, you can't guarantee that it's not gonna flip on its head again tomorrow, because it's gonna just keep raining like it was just dumping there. Which, I mean, you're gonna have another temperature change, because I'm sure that temperature that front moves through. I just sent you guys the photos of why I'm mad we can't play the early 4.
All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for us. I'll probably be hanging out in chat, playing a little bit of Sam Houston. I think Chase, you're gonna be handicapping tomorrow stuff right now.
Yeah, I'll probably be logging out for a minute.
And then I think Pack, you're probably gonna be playing a little low sal tonight.
Yeah, working on a Los Al, trying to get something in quick here. But I'll be playing some Los Al.
All right, cool. Well, catch us on Discord. And then for our boy Caleb, check Caleb out. He's been doing some write-ups on what is it, the Daily Gallop.
Daily Gallop, yeah.
So
he's been putting some big money winners out there, so he's been really legit.
Shout out to Dennis, who always shows up, and all the Daily Gallop people for retweeting our stuff. So thank you. Chase, you can catch him at jpwinc.com. Posting his sheets.
That's not it, but we'll get something that
whatever
you can say in one breath
Sure.
at some point soon.
Just Pick Winners Incorporated. Is that .com? .biz.
It's justpickwinners.wixsite.com.
And then you can catch me on Discord or at Cherry Drink. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later.